Yes, Tony speaks. Tony's back.
Because we are live, I think. Maybe. Yes, we are live on the Faccia di Libre, the Facebook.
Wow.
Thank goodness. Well, we're live. I mean, Kevin's just kind of somewhere, I guess, maybe.
Is that Italian?
I'm here, just annoyed.
Kevin's here and he's annoyed. Doo-dah, doo-dah. It's time for us to start the show. Oh, the doo-dah day. Oh, should I play the music at that point?
What? I did the whole intro before.
Okay. Next on the Shining Wizards. The following is a presentation of the Shining Wizards Network, broadcasting live on rantiumradio.com and available on all podcast platforms and at shiningwizards.com. Follow us on social media at Wizards Podcast. Get our merchandise at merch.shiningwizards.com. Shop at Amazon at amazon.shiningwizards.com and become a patron at patreon.com/wizardspodcast. As always, we thank you for your continued support. And now, enjoy the show.
What's up, everyone? This is the Machine Bar Gage, and you're listening to the Shining Wizard Podcast.
What's up, fuckers?
I have a small dick.
Whoa!
How dare you?
God damn!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shining Wizards.
I guess I had my microphone on the whole time. Welcome, everyone, episode 505 of the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast, where, of course, it's wrestling talk.
And talk about wrestling. I like 505. You couldn't say 505? There's the cat.
Yeah, why? I can't be literal Tony? Like, you're going to pick on me already? We haven't even started the show, and I'm picking my nose, and you're picking on me, and I guess that's the way it's going to be tonight.
How is that different than any other show?
I don't know. Tony!
Matt.
I think Kevin hurt himself.
Oh no! Does he still? No, his mic is still muted. He's very frustrated with his MacBook. MacBooks.
I don't understand how that fell apart. Like, how does that happen? It's just a weird thing, I guess.
You know, technology, man. 2020. It's running wild on you, brother, dude.
Oh. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight on the rant, rantiumradio.com. Thank you for joining us on the Facebook Live, a first endeavor for us. And you just got a peek at Nellie's asshole. So cat ass will be your friend tonight. Don't run away from it. It's a good time.
You leave Nellie alone, man. She didn't do nothing to nobody.
Nellie's always presenting herself to us. I feel like we have to acknowledge it periodically, no?
Yeah, well, now that you're on Facebook and not the hot mic, you can't put a cat's butthole on the screen every time she comes up here.
Well, I can. I mean, is that inappropriate? Are we going to get banned for cat butts? I don't understand.
Oh, I see it. It's up there. Nice. All right. My man with the cat butthole. That's what I'm talking about.
My man. I don't know why, but our names are popping up on the side. This thing is all over the place. Look at this. Every time I click on something, it's like moving this banner over. Come on, move back.
Just don't click on anything, man. Just leave it alone. Facebook seems a bit archaic, though.
Archaic?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not into the Facebook anymore. I don't know necessarily why I have a Facebook. I usually used to use the excuse it was for the podcast. Although I did secure my special guest for the anniversary show through Facebook, so I can't totally shit all over Facebook.
You're already booked?
I am a ninja bitch. I told you I had nothing to do Thursday at work. I had my laptop. It was raining. There's nothing to do, so I jumped into action. Hoo-wah, 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 hoo-wah.
Well, I told you I already reached out to long shot number 1. Long shot number 2 is going to be coming tomorrow, but sort of can't access Twitter for another 6 hours.
Coming. Why? What'd you do? You get banned on Twitter?
I suggested that somebody get shot in the legs rather than shot in the chest, as you know, like our presidential candidate Joe Biden suggested, and I got banned for it. I don't know why.
Jesus Christ! This is not. We're not going down this rabbit
hole.
No,
we're not. We're not.
People don't listen to this show for that shit. Okay?
Well, you asked me why I got banned, so I just told
I know.
you.
You should know better. What's wrong with you? You
Listen.
fall into these.
I was
fall into
quoting a
traps all the time.
politician. It's not like I was threatening to shoot someone myself.
Oh, but you get it. You get all like with the wrestling Facebook groups, you get all fucking anked up and you're all riled up about wrestling Facebook groups. Now you're going on Twitter doing it. You gotta relax, bro. You gotta relax.
I do tend to get a little worked up, but I got to tell you this: with Election Day tomorrow, I pulled this bad boy out of the closet from 4 years ago. God damn, Jim Cornette for fucking president of wrestling, motherfucker! Vote for me, you son of a bitch! Double cheeseburgers for everybody! Fuck Trump! Fuck Biden! I'm the fucking president, motherfucker!
Are you now?
That's right, god damn!
Even though you tried to cheat at the election.
I don't cheat at nothing!
No,
Fucking,
you definitely got caught.
there's nothing in my tennis racket, motherfucker! Beautiful Bobby didn't need a fucking weapon. He's a fucking tag team specialist. Stan Lane's a handsome motherfucker. And Kevin is still not here with us.
No, his microphone is muted. He's trying to figure out how he can be a part of the show without his computer catching fire and perhaps his basement. So he's a little preoccupied.
Well, if his
That doesn't mean look. He will be the first one to tell you technology is not his strong suit. So this is very frustrating for Kevin, and he paid good money for his laptop. So I understand. I've been there. Look, I smashed a heart rate monitor, and I don't even know if I paid good money for it. I just smashed it because I'm a fucking psychopath.
That's
I don't know if
terrible.
Kevin has the psychopath gene, but I get it. I understand his frustration. How many times have I told you I'm going to throw this fucking soundboard in the middle of the fucking street?
Soundboard, laptop, microphone, mic stand, headphones. I mean, you've run the gamut.
To be fair, it's been a while. It's been a pretty long time.
You know, it has been, because you got yourself some good equipment, and you've always got me to help you out. So no, wait.
True.
I got to rewind that though. It hasn't been a long time for other things, because I seem to remember a heart monitor wound up in the middle of your fucking street not too long ago. So you're not completely cured of your societal ills and destroying your own property, but
I never said I was perfect.
no, I'm just saying you're getting better. But you still have a snafu every now and again.
Yeah. I'm working on it though. I feel bad. My big giant head and body is in the way. I moved some action figures this afternoon. I cleaned and moved some things around, so all my Hasbros are now behind me.
No, it looks like you straightened up a bit. I like it.
I did. We got this wonderful desk over here. I put it together. It's all in one piece. I didn't break anything. And now the TV is not on the floor, so it's coming together. We got a giant couch for the sun porch, so I just created a whole nother room for my house where I can hang out.
That's awesome.
Kevin, you look like you've had a long day on the Alaskan Sea trying to catch some fish. Kevin. No, Kevin, you turn the mic on. Unmute. There you go.
Yes, Matt, I was fishing on the Alaskan Sea. They filmed it for the Discovery Channel, filming for kraken and marlin and sea bass and trout and sunfish and starfish and shut the fuck up fish.
I feel like you're transforming into like a longshoreman.
Listen, I don't know what I'm transforming into something. I don't know what the heck it is. Just fucking rough day, man. Fucking bullshit. So, what's up with you guys? You guys do any fishing lately?
No fishing. Let's see. I had to go out in the wind today and put the tarp back on the broken shed. So that was fun. And then I was just telling Tony, I don't know if you heard, I put
that
that
Hardy there.
No,
the broken shed.
The Hasbros are now behind me in this room.
Look at you doing some rearranging.
I did. And I may be a tad bit distracted at some point. I entered this mega raffle online today. Don't roll your eyes, okay? It was supposed
I might not have enough battery to last a half an episode. And Matt entered a raffle. It's gonna be Tony talking to our guest by himself.
No, you'll be good. But when they opened it yesterday, and you can get a choice of many things, but the first choice is Evil Crush mint on card and a loose Series 11 set. So I am all in on this. They just filled it like an hour ago, so now I'm just waiting for them to run it. So they might run it during the show. They might not run it during the show.
How much was the entry?
$10 an entry.
How many did you buy?
How many did you buy?
I brought 10.
So you dropped $100 on a chance to win a green card crush.
And the whole loose Series 11 set.
Oh, I didn't know that. Series 11 is... Hold on 1 second. I think I have that information right here. Hold on. Series 11 would be... Series 11 is green card. Wow.
Yes.
So you're going for the whole green card. Adam Bomb, Yoko, White and Black, 123 Kid, Ludwig Borga, and the Smoking Guns.
Yes, and that would be a huge haul.
For $100, absolutely. That's like $2,000 right there at least, dude.
And then I would have doubles of the Smoking Guns, doubles of Adam Bomb, and doubles of the 123 Kid.
The price of Hasbro's have gone up. The prices for all figures in general have skyrocketed during quarantine, and have skyrocketed especially over the last few months. Like when you could get like a loose or even a mint on card 123 Kid for like, I don't know, maybe like $200 to $300 or somewhere in that $195 to $250 range. Now is like $400 to $600 and like probably like $1,200 for a mint on card.
Yeah, don't get me started on the AEW Chase figures because I can't.
You got to move to North Carolina, man. They're all over the place.
These fucking shitty Walmarts around me. And hey, I got news flash, people. When they open a mega Walmart near you, all right, it's a fucking Walmart with a grocery store in it. There's nothing different about it. Don't wait in line all night like some fucking redneck idiot. All right, it's a fucking Walmart with a supermarket in it. That's it. There's nothing else spectacular about it.
That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah,
They have all over the place in fucking Florida. All right.
Well, this isn't
All right,
Florida, sir.
Some people aren't used to it.
Yeah, why are you so bitchy tonight? What happened to you? You afraid you're gonna?
Because he's in a raffle, Tony.
He ain't winning shit.
I don't like your fucking attitude.
I don't like the fact that you're dropping $100 on the fact that you're gonna be a fucking loser.
Oh.
Wow, I dropped $100 yesterday on football games.
And you lost?
Yes.
Yes.
I lost my 14 parlay. I won on my any Dolphin will score a touchdown because their defense scored, so I won like $100 there.
Wait. You bet that any Dolphin would
any Dolphin would score a touch. So there's player props on
So the Dolphins just had to score a touchdown.
No, there's like a set. The player props have like 10 players that can score a touchdown. You can bet on that, and then you can bet any other.
Oh.
So I bet on that, and the defense scored a touchdown, so I won
So
big there.
bet the field as opposed to any of the 10 players.
Exactly. And then the Chargers defense fucked me last night, so that's where I am.
Yeah, they did. I can only imagine what you had on that game, but the Chargers.
I didn't. I put a $50 bet on a 14 parlay that would have paid out like $300. So I was kind of bummed about that.
Enthralling.
Ends the breaks, my man.
Those are the
for a reason.
So Kevin, you said you watched everything this week. Tony, what'd you watch, Tony, in your fucking misery of life that you live in?
I don't even think I watched half of AEW this week, but I did watch United Wrestling Network. And the only thing, I mean, there's plenty of stuff on that show, but the one thing to talk about, match of the week, it's on lockdown. Serena Deeb challenges Thunder Rosa once again for the NWA World's Women's Championship. And I'm telling you, if you like the AEW match, this one blew it out of the water. This was amazing top to bottom. The moves, the counters, the storytelling. And surprise, surprise, we crowned a brand new NWA World's Women's Champion. Surprised the shit out of me and a lot of people. Serena Deeb besting Thunder Rosa. And then the very next night, defending the title on AEW Dynamite.
2 questions, T-Dunk. Why did they make that change? And did you get a haircut?
Second question first, yes, thank you for noticing. And first question second, there was rumors going around that Thunder Rosa was going to be signing with someone else, maybe WWE, maybe AEW, but
maybe Teddy Long's SWE.
Holla, player! But
holla,
it's
holla.
She actually, my good buddy WPC came out and said no, she's still with us through 2021. So, yeah, she's still got the NWA home. Yeah, WPC, William Patrick Corrigan, my buddy Billy C. You know,
hold on. First of all, who's William Patrick Corrigan?
Corrigan.
Second of all,
Corrigan. Yes, Corrigan.
Oh, yeah. I think Kevin and me are both in the same boat. Go ahead, Kev. Second of all,
are you name dropping on me right now?
Hey, listen, me and WPC go way back.
Are you really doing this right now?
Yeah, of course I am.
Taking everything that I've built my brand on?
Oh, come on. You built your brand on WPC? Fuck out.
I built my brand on name dropping.
Get out of here.
I'm the name dropper, baby.
Not
And that's probably not
WPC's
what Matt
name.
had in mind. So Matt, go ahead with what you were.
I know. I was gonna say Tony had friends, but yeah, same boat.
Oh, same thing. Yeah, T-Dunk, you got friends?
Don't look. There's no need to be. What's with the anger, Tony?
Why are you
Right?
telling me I
have
got no friends?
WPC name dropping? At least Kevin name drops and Brian Myers does our show. I don't see no fucking Billy Corgan, William Patrick Corgan, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I don't see him doing the show with us. Do you,
Oh,
Kev?
yeah.
You see the old guy from Smashing Pumpkins?
Hold on, let's see. Macho Man, Nigel McGuinness, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Samoa Joe. Nope, no WPC.
Tony, you got a WPC over there?
Samoa Joe never did our show anyway. I don't know why you're name dropping him.
Because I saw him.
Either did the Macho Man.
Neither did. Yeah, that's a good point.
Kevin Steen may
guess
have. I think he did.
DiBiase. did.
Sorry,
DiBiase did. Kevin Steen's been on the show.
he
Of
was.
course.
Show.
Kevin interviewed him.
That sure
In
did.
the- in
You know
the-
who else was on the show?
Oh, who?
Tracy Smothers was on the show.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Get it out of the way now. We got a full show, but I feel like if we get the ball rolling and we don't talk a little bit about Tracy Smothers, then it's just going to be something at the end of the night when we're reminiscing on this wonderful show. We go, oh, fuck, we didn't talk about Tracy Smothers.
I agree.
So Wednesday, the bad news came down that Tracy Smothers passed away from the cancer. He's 58 years old. Real kick in the dick. So young. We was a guest for Tony's birthday show.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say we talked about WrestleMania with him.
We
I
did.
couldn't
We were-
find the episode. I was like digging deep. I put in like Tracy Smothers, Shining Wizards, and I couldn't find it. So.
He actually kept up on the current product, which surprised all of us. Because, yeah, we were actually talking to him about what was going on currently, including WrestleMania. Matt was right.
Well, Tony's birthday is right around WrestleMania, so that's how I remember.
That's right.
I mean, he's a legend. Everyone had nothing but good things to say about him. I don't know if you can find anyone who posted anything negative. I don't think you've ever heard a negative story about Tracy Smothers. He wrestled a fucking bear, for Christ's sake. A bear.
Yeah, and he put up a hell of a fight with the old sea dog. So he fought it for a while, but sometimes you just can't beat that son of a bitch.
Do you guys have any favorite memories of the wild-eyed Southern boy?
God, it sucks that I'm gonna say this, but like, you know how like WCW cards and how like every pack has like somebody, like every pack had like the Southern Boys in it, and every pack had at least every other pack had a Tracy Smothers card, and so that's kind of when I first discovered Tracy Smothers and the Southern Boys tag team, and then of course God. Freddie Joe Floyd. That's gonna get no one's gonna remember Freddie Joe Floyd, but I remember Freddie Joe Floyd. And then of course the BWO and not the BWO.
BWO?
The, FBI. Wow, he had some good. I'm thinking of Blue Meanie's post because a lot of posts of Blue Meanie wrestling.
From Nashville, Italy.
Great.
God damn.
Great.
If you know nothing else about Tracy Smothers' career, his time as a member of the full-blooded Italians with Wildfire Tommy Rich, of all people, and Little Guido, a.k.a. Nunzio, a.k.a. Guido Maritato, fucking entertaining as shit. And the dance-offs they would have, especially with people like the BWO, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Go watch some
Another good
Tracy
point.
Smothers this week. Do yourself a favor. Get educated.
Yeah, it was, that Great American Bash match against the Midnight Express, the Southern Boys against the Midnight Express, is fucking amazing. It's on
It's Matt. It's funny. We just watched the Halloween Havoc episode or pay-per-view, and that promo. We play that promo.
yeah, when they wanted to challenge the Patriots.
Yeah. God, legend. Legendary.
God damn, Tracy Smothers a fucking legend.
He is a legend.
So they started as the Southern Boys, and then they became the Young Pistols,
Young
right?
Pistols. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I'm pretty sure both teams were the same guys. Steve
Yeah.
Armstrong and Tracy Smothers. I don't know why they changed, or I don't know if it was the other way around, because it seemed like the Southern Boys were a heel tag team, and I thought the Young Pistols were baby faces. I could be way off on that. But it was weird. I don't know why they changed her name, to be honest with you, Matt.
Yeah, 1991, right before Wrestle War 91, they changed their name from the Southern Boys to the Young Pistols.
So maybe they were they? I guess they were good guys then.
They were in a intense feud with the Master Blasters at the time. So
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
yikes.
That was Al Green and Kevin Nash, right?
yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
that's good stuff.
What are you doing? Say hello to everyone on Facebook. Say hi, Facebook.
I can't find
I
this.
love Freddie Joe Floyd. FYI.
I did too, and actually Steve Armstrong went there too. As what was his name there? We talked about him recently on the show.
Lance Cassidy.
Yeah, Lance Cassidy. Look at that.
But yeah, Tony, I think everyone will mostly remember him for his FBI run. He really fucking crushed it there, man. Crushed it. Nothing was more of a heat magnet than him telling everyone that he was Italian. And
Shut up, you face.
You shut up, be a face with Tommy Rich and fucking Little Guido.
Were you there that night when Tracy Smothers unfurled the Italian flag and it had Tommy Rich's face on it? Super heat.
I was not there.
Oh, it was amazing. Super heat. Unbelievable. The shit they did is just legendary. Unsung heroes of the tag team division in ECW, which was flooded by the Gangstas and the Eliminators and oh God, who was it? The Public Enemy. You had all these great teams, and the FBI comes along, and they were tag champs for a while in ECW. Good stuff. Good stuff.
R to the I to the P to the F to the B to the I's. Tracy Smothers.
And if you want to watch some Tracy Smothers promos, find him in the SMW when they were the Thugs.
Oh my God.
Fucking awesome. Awesome stuff. It was him and Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony. They were the Thugs. What did Thugs stand for?
TL Hopper. Oh shit! I just saw the
God.
promo. I just saw the goddamn promo.
So did I.
Who posted it? Somebody posted it today.
It's something like. Oh my God! This is that's all I saw this weekend. Was that thing?
He ended it and he's like, "Cause thugs don't know how to spell."
Thugs can't. Yeah, thugs don't know how to
can't
spell. Or thug don't spell right, or something like that.
God damn it!
Oh man, this is gonna kill. Don't
worry, Matt's working on it. Type.
We are dropping the ball here.
We're not dropping the ball. We're having some fun. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
Terrible. T is for
I'm
terrible.
with you.
E is for hell.
I just
U
can't
for
believe we just
ugly,
out of the three of us.
You just talked all over Matt, Kev. Good job. Matt, say it again.
T is for terrible. I'm going for a third time.
Okay,
Third
go
time's
for it.
charm. T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. G is for jail because a thug can't spell.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bright spots in SMW, but Tracy Smothers is one of them. I was watching some very old interviews today with him before his Coal Miner's Glove feud with Brian Lee with a very young Tammy Sitch. It's quite entertaining. And it's funny to see all these guys in SMW and then where they go afterwards. Some more successful than others. TL Hopper being not one of them. So, yeah, that was that's it. You know, we could probably spend a whole show talking about Tracy Smothers, but we're not going to. Rest in peace, Tracy Smothers. Do yourself a favor, watch some Tracy Smothers. I highly recommend the Great American Bash 1990 match and anything from SMW. And of course, as Tony and Kevin said, the ECW stuff. There's a lot of sneaky good tag team matches on there with the FBI and the BWO, or the FBI and Tajiri and Super Crazy, Tajiri and Mikey, the Gangstanatas, Balls and Axel. Lots of good sneaky tag teams in there, so it's a good watch. Now, Tony, you said before that you thought that Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb took the week.
I think so. At least,
but you said you didn't watch much.
Yeah, that's true. But they took the week. 100%.
I'm gonna disagree, my man.
All right,
I will as well.
Okay, what do you got?
Kevin, I bounce past to you. What do you say, sir?
Ooh. I gotta go Io Shirai, Candice LeRae.
Really?
For the week stealer. And I'm probably forgetting something because I literally watched I watched what I call the trifecta, the Triple Crown. I watched NXT, AEW, and Impact.
So you didn't see
disrespect to the other shows. It's just the ones that are the most easily accessible to me.
I heard Drago and Walter had a hell of a match too. Is that your pick?
That is, I watched that this afternoon. I have not watched a second of NXT UK because I really, to be perfectly honest with you,
Yeah, we haven't talked about it in like 6 or 7 months.
but
We're coming in hot with Stealing the Week.
Well, they really haven't done much in the past 6 or 7 months, right? I mean,
Yeah,
NXT
it's just a weird it's a weird avenue to run down here after we talk about all these other shows, and all of a sudden they come in with the match of the week.
I'm telling you, go watch it. They've been doing the Heritage Cup on NXT UK, and the Drago, he got a pinfall on Walter in a tag match, so they like really built us up. These two guys beat the ever living fucking piss out of each other. Drago's chest, like 4 minutes in, was as red as my shirt. It was a fucking awesome match. So I think that match stole the week. I didn't see Serena and Thunder Rosa. I saw Serena and the
Leah Hirsch.
Yeah,
Layla Hirsch.
the little girl on AEW Dynamite, and I enjoyed that. I thought Shirai and Candice was good. I really liked the Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez. Was that her name? Raquel Gonzalez?
Yeah,
Yes.
the whole Halloween Havoc show was a home run.
I could have done without the Jake Atlas match, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna. You got to put stuff in there. You know what I mean? You got to like. It's a 2-hour show and it's not a pay-per-view, so you got to throw the stuff in there. And Jake Atlas has been working with these guys for a few weeks, and I like how what's his nuts had the whole Mysterio thing going on there, paying tribute to Halloween Havoc of the past. Yeah, Santos Escobar, I think that's his name.
Tony, who advanced?
I really thought the Candice. Listen, I love the whole opening.
Yeah, the whole opening.
Did he freeze?
Are you frozen, Kevin?
No, well, you said, well, who advanced? You started talking about something else.
Yeah, but I cut you off, so I apologize. The whole opening, give it to me with Shotzi. I love Shotzi Blackheart.
You said the whole
Big
opening.
fan of that. Big fan of that. And now I'm a big fan of Damian Priest now. That opening with him was like WrestleMania-esque opening, and he just sold it, and it was so good. And anytime you include like live music in somebody's entrance, it just means like so much more to me. And unfortunately, he did end up losing to Johnny Gargano, which was also a tremendous fun Falls Count Anywhere match, Devil's Playground match, I believe it was called. So yeah, the whole Halloween Havoc show was great. So Matt.
Now, Kevin, who did you think was in the Scream mask?
Johnny Gargano.
You thought Johnny Gargano was in the Scream mask?
That helped Candice LeRae get up to the top.
No, that helped
with a
Johnny
ladder.
Gargano beat Damian Priest.
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. So it's the same person that helped. I actually didn't even see that.
It was the ending to the match. He gave him the tombstone and he busted it over Damian Priest's head.
I saw, yeah, okay. I didn't see that. I saw Johnny. I must have missed it because I saw Johnny Gargano holding up the North American Championship. I must have missed that finish or something.
So Johnny Gargano's the new North American champion?
Correct.
Okay.
So all right. So there's a Phantom. There's a WCW Phantom in NXT.
Ooh, it's Rick Rude.
From the dead.
Ooh, well, it's fucking Halloween Havoc. Ooh.
And Pete Dunne back fucking diesel as fuck.
That was good too. And let's not cut fucking McAfee short, man. What a promo. He's 2 for 2 in promos.
I still don't like him.
Well, if you have fucking months at a time to fucking prepare your promos, I guess you'd be good at promos too, right? I mean,
yeah, but if it's the only 2 promos you've ever cut in your life, that's not bad.
Matt doesn't like the Pat McAfee.
Still don't like him.
All right, fair enough. Fuck him.
He's tough to buy as a badass, but like now that's why I guess he surrounds himself with Birch and Lorcan and now Pete Dunne, which actually kind of bummed me out because I was pumped to see Pete Dunne back. And then like, the chair thing, it's going to happen. But I was like praying that it didn't happen. Then it happened. But
you were not
I got over it quickly because
You weren't praying when Roderick Strong turned his back on Pete Dunne in the Dusty Road Classics, were you? When Roderick Strong joined the Undisputed Era and he turned on Pete Dunne.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
There's a story here. Pete Dunne's back for redemption, bitch.
Are Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle still friends?
Wait, what?
Weren't they tag team partners or champions together or something?
Yeah, they were.
They were like the Hammer Bros or something like that.
The Broserweights.
The Broserweights. That's it. The Hammer Bros. Jesus.
Matt Riddle's on Raw now.
But are they friends yet? Like, did they have a falling out before Matt Riddle came up, or
No.
they just lost the titles and went their separate ways? Yeah.
I mean, Pete Dunne went back to fucking the UK and he was probably stuck there for quarantine.
Oh, so they fell apart because of the quarantine. See, I don't remember any of this.
No, I think they just put Pete Dunne back to the UK to hype that, to make that brand better.
I said, off with you.
Yeah, and then they took Matt Riddle's first name and they said, "You're out of here. You're just a Riddle now."
He's okay with that.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
I just don't understand. I don't understand any of it.
What?
Why? What's who? So he's just Riddle now?
Yes. There you go. You just answered your own question. Yes, he's just Riddle.
I just don't. They do it with everybody. They did it with Andrade. They did it with Chad Gable, and they tamed him into what? Gable, and then he was Little Shorty G, and then now he's Chad Gable.
No, he was never just Gable. He was Chad Gable to short. Pretty sure.
Cesaro?
Pretty sure he was never just Gable. He went from Chad Gable to Shorty G. Now he's back to Chad Gable and not on TV.
Cesaro?
Right.
Do you even remember what his first name was?
Antonio.
Oh, come on.
Good. I wanted to make sure you guys were up on your first name droppings.
What about Andrade?
And Rusev.
Peter? Wasn't it Peter
Alexander?
Andrade? No, Andrade. All right, fuck it. Peter Avalon wrestled Chris Dickinson. It was the only first-round match in UWN last week, Matt. And Peter Avalon, despite his standing in AEW, is quite revered in the championship wrestling from Hollywood scene. Former, many championship holder that he was, actually gave Chris Dickinson a hell of a match. They actually had a really good match. Of course, Avalon took advantage of some shitty things and, was able to take it to Dickinson for a while. But, of course, Dickinson moves on. The rest of the first round will be happening this week. Because Mike Bennett wrestled another match, but it wasn't in the opening round. He wrestled some big dude that looked like Jack Stain, but it wasn't him. That match went a little long, but it was a solid match. So the rest of your first round matches are going to be this week. You're going to see, hold on, I think I have the notes. You're going to see Eric Redbeard take on Watts. You're going to see Carl Fredericks take on Fred Rosser, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. takes on Mike Bennett. So there you go. The rest of the first round for the UWN World Championship. Yes.
Fred, birthday today, by the way.
Happy birthday, Fred.
And for those, Redbeard is Eric Rowan.
No, it's not. It's Redbeard from the fucking
Extra Guys.
It's not. No, that's not John. How dare you disrespect John Redbeard and confuse him with that slob, Eric Rowan?
Wow, slob, harsh.
Jesus,
yeah. Oh,
really?
wow. What is Redbeard? He's first of all, he's stealing John's gimmick. Okay.
Yeah. What the fuck is that all about?
Right now, look, I could be talking out of turn. Maybe Eric Rowan reached out to Redbeard and he said, "Can I be the Redbeard?" And Johnny Boy said, "Yeah, I'm going to pursue comedy because I'm very funny on Facebook. So, I'm going to step out of the limelight of professional wrestling. You may now be the only Redbeard, but the only person that can answer that is John Redbeard himself." So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to throw some shade at what's it? Redbeard? Just Redbeard?
Eric Redbeard.
Eric Redbeard. Arr.
Maybe it's John's older brother. Maybe they're working a gimmick where they're brothers and he's going to come in for the tournament. I don't know.
Brother.
Dude. All right, that's UWN. So this week we got the rest of the first round of the tournament.
Fucking great.
I'm sorry, it's not fucking NXT Halloween Havoc.
Listen, if I can check out, if you can check out for everything that Matt talks about, I can check out what you talk about UWN, the UPN network.
Wow, Kevin's a dick tonight, huh?
No, I'm just I had a bad day, man. All right, I'm frustrated.
So why are you taking it out on me? I had a fucking bad day too. You don't see me fucking crying about it.
No, you cried earlier.
No, you cried earlier. Remember your fucking plug fell apart? You're like, "Tony, can you help?"
Yeah, of course. You did. And you did nothing. It's still broken.
Glad to help, buddy.
You guys want to talk about it?
No, we're good.
No, move on. Let's go. We got more wrestling to talk. Kris Levin's calling up, isn't he?
Yeah, 7:45.
There you go.
Take a fucking chill pill. I'm worried about my friends.
You know who I'm worried about?
Who are you worried about?
I'm worried about Smiley Kylie because she quit wrestling because she's got some problems that she's got to deal with, which is fucking depressing as shit. That's
Maybe her
that's-
iPhone plug broke too.
It's sad, bro. It's sad. I feel for her, but it seemed like every time, things were actually going well, that was when she kind of bowed out, which makes sense. The whole thing with AEW makes more sense now. Now this whole thing with Impact where she's like stepping away. Hope she gets better, man. She's a super talented. Everybody said nothing but nice things about her on the social medias. Yes, Matt.
Maybe she's the one who shot Johnny Bravo.
Maybe
She's tucking her tail and she's
I'd skip town too. I'd be on the lam.
You
if I
think this is
shot,
gimmicks?
Johnny Bravo.
You don't think they would play this off as a gimmick? Come on.
No.
You dick. Come on.
I never know with you.
I have nothing nice to say about this. It's unfortunate, but she let them put her in this position to be successful. I don't know, man. I just don't think it's a good look. I hope she gets the help she needs. I'm glad.
That's the thing. We don't know anything about what she's going through. Who knows what it is? So I'm not going to cast dispersions or judgment on anybody for making a decision that they think is best for them, regardless of what they're going through.
Yeah, and as much as I fucking hate Mauro Ranallo and what he's become as a commentator, I'm glad that he's getting himself some help too. You know what I'm saying? It sucks.
But we don't know. Like, I haven't read anything that to say what she's going through, whether or not she's whether or not she took her ball and went home, or whether or not she's legit going through some serious shit.
From what I've been reading, she did come out and say that she's bipolar. So,
all right, that's good enough reason for me for her to leave.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
This is what she posted on her Patreon this morning. Good morning. I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused and miscommunication. I'm currently unwell. I'm also sorry that I wasn't able to get this out before your monthly subscription charge. I wanted to take this time to say I'm no longer a professional wrestler and I'm currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand. When I am well, I will try to fulfill any obligations that I've missed. During this time, most tiers will not be able to be fulfilled. Please feel free to unsubscribe from my membership/Patreon account. Thank you for your understanding.
All right, sounds like she's going
to. It is what it is. It sucks.
So she's she's out. I don't know. It's just the whole situation is very weird. I don't like the way Impact handled it. This is me personally. Just because
stuff happens.
Yeah, but you watched the pay-per-view. They played the whole video thing with her in it. And then they played her music, and then Deanna came out to the ring, and then Deanna cut a promo. Like, why even just, you're raising more questions than you don't have the answers to the questions. So why would you do that? It's hard to change. You don't need to explain anything to anyone.
I know this is a cliche, especially in 2020, but maybe the situation was way more fluid at the time than we thought. So maybe they didn't know that she was definitely going to be gone for good. So why play it up as a story that meant that's wrestling.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of shitty in hindsight, but I kind of agree with Kevin on that one. I mean, how many times can you be like, oh, Kylie Rae had this and that, so we're going to issue an open challenge? I mean, it's a little bit of a different play on that. So, I mean, it could have done better, yeah, but it is what it is. I can't.
No, look, I'm not. I said last week I thought it was part of a story where Su Yung kidnapped her and they were going to do all that, but different things have come to light now.
Yeah, exactly. So
she's down. She wasn't there at the show. I just don't understand why they proceeded like there was going to be a match. They knew she was not. She was gone when someone went to the hotel to check on her. She had checked out and she was gone. She was not in Nashville anymore.
All right. So like I said, maybe that's one thing, but maybe you have a conversation with her after Bound for Glory, and she comes back, and then you work from there as part of a story that continues. Maybe what you said, for a story does happen. That doesn't happen if you don't do the intro with her not showing up. So like I said, it's probably like a lot of things lately. Maybe it was just very fluid and they didn't know that she was going to be gone for good. Maybe they thought afterwards they can talk to her, she'll come back, and then they can move on with that story from there.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with what they did. Again, A, it's wrestling. B, they probably didn't have all the facts for the details. So not gonna shit on them for that.
They're probably leaving the
Did
door open. That's all.
have a problem with Johnny Bravo getting shot?
Oh no, oh baby, T-Donk. See, look, T-Donk checks out.
I'm not checking out. Kev, if you were about to...
The recliner gives a false sense of you checking out. You're relaxing, but it just seems like when you go back like that, it's just like...
I have to sit back and take a breath because I'm going to spew some venom for all those that you think I just shit on AEW. Kev, if you were getting married and the lights went out and you got shot, and then you find out that that the woman that you were about to marry doesn't even fucking check on you, wouldn't you be a little pissed off? The only fucking person that bends over to check on the fucking guy is Tommy Dreamer, and it took him 15 seconds to get over there. Dude, if it was my wife and she got shot, I'd be the first one down there going, what the fuck? Like, trying to help her. Bad.
Oh, it was perfect.
Bad. She didn't even scream, and she's the fucking demon. She screams all the time.
The lights were out.
But they came back on and he was shot. But they all fucking scream. Sue Young and all of them. They're like, we're fucking demons. Oh, my husband got shot. Whatever. Come on, dude.
Maybe she's the one who shot him.
Yeah.
You still got to play the part. Like, what the fuck, dude? That's some cold ass shit if you fucking shot him and just stand there.
Well, she's a demon.
And she was in shock.
They were all in shock except for Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is the fucking light at the end of the tunnel that fucking Johnny Bravo's going to. Nobody else gave a shit about the guy except for Tommy fucking Dreamer. Come on, dude.
Contrary to what Kevin says,
what?
Brian Myers, not the most professional wrestler in the ring at that moment. Tommy Dreamer was. He's a man. He stepped up. He went to the man who was shot. And he summoned the power of Animal because he had the face paint on.
Tommy Dreamer's in it for the payday because he's going to host a brand new murder mystery or shot mystery because he was not confirmed dead. But there's going to be a new Wrestle House. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Ooh, is this like one of those murder mystery dinners where everybody's involved and everybody's a suspect?
Everyone's That's gotta be.
All right, you know what? I'd be all in on that. That'd be cool as shit. Like if they were all on a train somewhere, like having steaks, trying to like solve the mystery. That'd be funny as shit.
Well, I would give my hopes up on trains, Tony. I don't think they're gonna be on trains.
Listen, it's wrestling. There's trains going on all the time in pro wrestling. Come on. Ride that choo-choo. Woo, woo.
Oh, my God. Going on Facebook was the mistake.
It's the greatest thing ever. Hi, everyone on Facebook.
But maybe the green screen train.
Now, my question.
Oh, but I'm telling you right now, little clue edition of Wrestle House.
I thought you had a bit of wisdom you were going to drop on us, Kevin. Now, is this what you want to come out of your biggest pay-per-view of the year with, this Who Shot Johnny Bravo gimmick?
You think this is a quarantine story where like once everything is lifted, they all like Tommy Dreamer's in the shower and fucking Sue Young comes in and she's like, oh, it's all a dream, Tommy. And he's like, oh, Jesus, thank God. And Johnny Bravo's fine and nobody got shot. And then they do the wedding all over again.
What are you, the writer from Lost? Get out of here.
Bro, then you get to give the belts back to the people that were champions at the time, bro. It fucking makes sense, bro. God damn, nobody's fucking alive. You don't fucking change the titles, motherfucker.
If you watch the first, like, Wrestle House, like, quote-unquote mini-series, then I wouldn't put anything past what they decided to do for this. So, yeah, I could see that. But, again, they haven't said that he was murdered, so Johnny Bravo could very well be alive and well. So this could just be a whole thing, and they could do anything they want because Wrestle House is so good that I'm telling you, this is what they have to do with it. They have to do it, especially if you look at the people that were around ringside. 90% of them are Wrestle House people. The only reason why Tommy Dreamer gets involved, other than the Demon or anyone else or Taya or anyone, is because of the Wrestle House thing. It's got to be it.
Kevin, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
You could start a Wrestle House with 4 wrestlers. Who's in your Wrestle House?
Anywhere? Any company?
Yes.
Like, to be, like, funny and good?
Yeah. You're producing it. You make it whatever you want to make it.
Oh God. Ric Flair, Heath Slater, Coco Beware,
I like that poll.
and I will say, oh my God, why am I just said Coco Beware and I'm struggling for a fourth. I will say, who's really funny in WWE? Who's really funny in AEW? I'll go MJF.
That's a very interesting wrestle house you would have there.
That's a good one.
I don't know. On the spot.
I like it. Tony, who would you have in your wrestle house? 4 people.
Bobby Heenan.
No, he's dead.
Oh, you can't do dead people? All right, the ghost
No.
of Bobby Heenan.
No, the ghost, that's still not a person.
All right, I'd put John Silver,
Okay.
Ah, good.
Going with the hot hand. I like that.
Orange Cassidy.
Really? Oh, Tony's a heat magnet today.
So this is going to be a silent film.
Randy Orton, and who would
Coco
my
Beware.
fourth be? Fuck it, it's got to be somebody alive.
Greg the Hammer Valentine. That'd be a real silent film.
Fuck it, I'll put in Peanut Head.
Teddy Long?
Yeah, fuck it, Teddy Long and fucking Orange Cassidy. And
That's a good one.
come on, player. Player,
Don't-
take your hands out of your pockets, player.
Don't look at Shane Helms or an Al Snow. Or
Dude,
Lance
you don't
Storm.
think John Silver and fucking Teddy Long would be hysterical together?
Long John Silver?
Fuck, dude. He'd be like, give me them titties. Ah. You don't think he would?
All right.
Come on, dude. Teddy Long and chocolate titties? That fucking it writes itself.
Wow.
No?
You're assuming. You're assuming.
Come on, dude. I've seen enough of Be the Elite. I know what goes on down there.
What, Teddy Long?
Oh,
No
fucking
way.
John Silver looking for titty milk.
I love Teddy Long, but Homeboy needs to learn how to take a picture instead of sending us a video of him wearing our t-shirt.
You don't know how to take a still of a video?
Come on, man. I ain't got time for that shit.
Send me the How come I have not seen this gem yet? Who are you
I
to
told
pass
you-
judgment on something that I have not seen?
I told you where it was. Look, I can lead you to the product, but I can't make you watch it.
I do not know where the product is.
Can lead you to the pond, but he cannot make you drink.
Yeah, you're too busy getting kicked off of fucking Twitter to see fucking Teddy Long making videos saying, "What's up, playa?" with his pink and black Shining Wizards t-shirt.
All right, I'll have to check that out later. That's all.
Holla.
Holla!
Tomorrow night on Impact, we have a rematch for the Knockouts Championship as Su Yung defends against Deonna Purrazzo. Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards will take on Eric Young and Sami Callihan. Ethan Page will take on Doc Gallows in a match. And Chris Bay will be one-on-one with Trey Miguel. I was going to make some smart ass. But I refrained from any smart ass.
Luke Gallows will take on Ethan Page in a match, as opposed to.
I watched a lot of weird shit this week. I'll give you guys, the fans out there, a little sneak peek behind the curtain. We're looking to give ourselves, give you the Patreon supporters more content. So I asked Tony and Kevin to give me a pay-per-view and a wrestler, and we're going to add that to our Patreon content. And Tony picked up.
No, come on. You going to tell everybody?
No, relax. I'm not going to give it away, but you picked a topic that there's really pre-dirt sheet. There's a lot of digging to do. So I had to watch a WWF Timeline shoot interview with Greg the Hammer Valentine.
That's awesome.
It's not, all right. It's not an easy watch. And this was shot like in 2009, and he was still looking rough, and his memory was not the greatest. And he said a couple like borderline racist things, like black people are afraid of dogs. It was really weird. It was like really weird. And then I watched Ethan Page has his own show on the High Spots Network, and I watched him and Danhausen, which was pretty interesting. But I'm watching doing a lot of research for these shows. But yeah, the Timeline series is always a good watch. But yeah, Greg Valentine was
He's
I didn't
interesting.
finish it. I got to go back and watch some stuff he was kind of all over the place with, like, he talked about the David Schultz thing and he, this now that we've seen the dark side of the ring with the Schultz story and him getting arrested, very interesting stuff.
Who was it in Dark Side of the Ring? Was it Valentine that broke stories about Jimmy Snuka? He broke another story about him getting in trouble.
It was Knobs.
Oh, it was Knobs. Okay, I'm thinking of a different old blonde-haired wrestler. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, right in the ballpark.
Wait, it was Knobs that was telling stories about Jimmy Snuka? That doesn't seem to make sense.
Was it? I thought it was Knobs.
When would Knobs and Jimmy Snuka ever have like shit that went on in the 80s? I thought somebody else broke a story that it wasn't the first time that
maybe it was Valentine. No.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time that Vince had to bail Snuka out of a situation and they just kind of like didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we talked to Gethard about that on our 500th episode. I think you're right. I think it was Valentine. Yeah, I think it was Valentine.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I've heard a few stories about him over the years. Yeesh. Go ahead.
Kris Levin calling in about 3 minutes to join us. We talked some NXT. We talked some Impact. New Japan announced that they're doing a U.S. version of the Super J Cup, which will have TJP, ACH, Leo Rush.
Big name
Chris
right
Bay.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Big name. Chris Bay, Ray Orris, Blake Christian, Clark Connors, and El Fantasmo, who won last year's tournament. So that's pretty super exciting. And then they also announced the best of the Super Juniors in Japan, and they shortened it. Instead of 2 blocks and 20 participants, it's this 1 block, 10 guys. Taguchi, Master Wado, your boy Sho, who I think is going to win it, Robbie Eagles, Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, El Desperado, Kanemaru, Doki, and Taji Ishimori, who is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And we will get into Power Struggle picks a little later on in the episode. But just a quick rundown. They also announced that Wrestle Kingdom will be limited to 20,000 people at the Tokyo Dome in January. So they will be doing that.
But that's also going to be 2 nights again, no?
Yes, sir. It will be 2 nights.
So technically it'll be 40,000 people, you know.
Over 2 nights, though? I mean, in some place that holds 50,000?
Look, it is what it is. They got to do what they can do, you know? I mean, I would think at this point, being able to announce that they can hold 20,000 people is a victory in and of itself, you know?
Yeah, but you never know. You know, things can go.
Things could change either way. Like, they could say, you know what, fuck it. You know, like, everything's cool. Let's do the 50,000, you know?
Or they can go the other way, unfortunately.
Oh, Jesus. Was that serious, Matt?
No, I was like middle of swallowing a beverage, an adult beverage.
Like, you know, it could be either way.
Yeah, sometimes I get this really weird voice thing.
All right, so let me ask you this. Are you going to mispronounce Levin or Levine, or are we going to just let him see if he wants to correct you?
I thought it was Kris Levin.
It is Levin. You kept saying Levine, like it was Avril Lavigne or Adam Levine or...
Oh, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
She was a girl, he was a boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Out of the song.
Avril Lavigne was the shit.
She was
the best.
There. The best? All right, let's not go that far.
Oh, the best. The best.
Really?
Young Kevin loved Avril.
Kevin.
I think
I saw her at MTV Spring Break in at Seaside Heights.
Wow. Did you get her
autograph,
signage?
Kinda. I got up on I was on TRL. Oh yeah, baby.
This is the first we're hearing of this.
Yeah, this is new to us.
We had a house. I think it was actually the first MTV Shore house. Like me and like a bunch of my buddies got it, and we ended up going. And I knew somebody that worked for MTV at the time, and got like on stage and shit like that, and got on TRL and talked to Carson, offered him a beer, but he refused it because why would he want a beer with some weirdo? But yeah, saw Avril Lavigne live in concert at Seaside Heights.
Nice.
Oh yeah, big time good stuff.
I remember I once saw Bubba Ray Dudley on like spring break. He was in a house or Seaside, I don't know, something. I think Kevin just shocked. Did you shock yourself? Did you shock yourself?
Well, that makes sense.
The shock master.
Sure did.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
What's your battery
It's
at?
the worst.
What's your battery at?
22%.
Oh, did you not charge your laptop up today?
I did.
Wow.
So what? 24%?
No, it was at when I came down. When I broke this, it was at probably like 65. But I wasn't expecting to break this.
Well,
I
you could
unplug
always,
everything when I leave the house.
you could
Unplug
always-
everything.
You could always jump on your phone if you need to. You know.
Why do you unplug?
I got to
everything?
download Zoom on the phone.
You should probably start doing that.
You should.
Yeah, all right. I'll be back.
No, well, you don't have to leave. Just
You don't
fucking
leave. You just press the button on the phone.
Can't do all these things, man.
COOM.
I can't do all these things.
You could do all these things.
You can do it.
You can do it, Kevin.
Chris
Oh,
Levin
God.
calling in any second now, so we'll be
Yeah,
talking to
right,
him in a
hopefully.
minute.
He confirmed this afternoon, so.
Well, maybe he forgot. He's
No.
still on the East Coast. Yeah, he's still like in our area. No.
Yeah.
So what do we? He's got that camp gimmick, right? The Camp Leapfrog. Is that a thing?
Yes, sir. That's the thing. It was very popular last week.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. I like.
Have you guys seen the new Borat movie yet? As an aside,
I don't care.
I don't either. I was just curious if you guys saw it. Guess not. Well, I tried. Anyway.
Oh, anywho.
Can we go back to is he on? Oh, we can go back to Impact though. A couple things that we forgot to mention. The Eric Young, Rich Swann. Eric Young got his rematch right off the gate. Took on Rich Swann. Rich Swann was in his street clothes, no shoes, no shirt, no service. And Rich Swann got rid of Eric Young maybe once and for all. And dude, the Halloween match with Tommy Dreamer and Brian Myers was actually really, really fun. Good pal Swoggle got involved in that one. He was in the garbage can and cost his dear good friend Brian Myers the match. So Tommy Dreamer took out the most professional wrestler. And then we had the knockout tag team divisions coming back. We had some teams.
I'm still not buying Rich Swann. I don't like Rich Swann as the world champion.
Neither do I.
Yeah, me either.
Okay. Good. I mean, not
That's
good.
not, and
I just,
and it's nothing. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page where we all like Rich Swann. It's just that it's a weird role for him.
Can I tell you who we all like right now?
who?
Who's that?
He might
Not
be
Rich Swann.
popping. Nope, he's popping in.
It's coming in. There he is.
Christopher, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How about yourself?
We are living the dream. We're just talking a little Impact Wrestling, and I don't know if we get a hot take here. Rich Swann is the world champion. What do you think? You in? You out? You buying? You selling?
I mean, so since I left Impact, I honestly haven't followed the product at all. I generally don't follow products that I'm not actively involved with. But I've known Rich Swann since I was a teenager. He's been like a big brother to me, and he's helped mentor me so much over the years, along with a handful of others. So it doesn't matter where it's happening. When your friends are doing well, you're just happy for them, and I really am.
Things that you are involved in. Camp Leapfrog, highly successful this past week, October 29th on IWTV. You guys slayed it. Tell us a little bit about the Camp Leapfrog.
Well, thank you so much for that. So Camp Leapfrog, it's kind of like the little engine that could, I think it was May or June, High Tension Wrestling hit me up, and they were about to have their first event, but with the lockdown and all, they weren't able to have it. So they were interested in doing kind of like a 4th of July party to live stream, kind of like the New Year's Eve party that I had done, which, feels like years ago now. And then, everything happened in June, and that kind of just, changed the entire landscape of pro wrestling as a whole. And nobody wanted to get together and have a party by the end of June, with speaking out and everything like that. So we took that additional time that we had between then and when we postponed the date to make it less of a party. Well, I mean, it was still a party, but make it more of like a wrestling film, if that makes sense. And kind of everything just perfectly came together. Some of it for good reasons, I've been working on a book, and it's a pro wrestling in film encyclopedia. So I've been taking in so many different examples and like mediums of how people combine pro wrestling and dramatic narratives. And I had all of that kicking around my head. And then, after the fall of Chikara, which, regardless of where you stand on it, I think everyone can agree that a lot of innocent bystanders were hurt by that. All of the students and the vets who that was their home. And so we had just this perfect storm of a lot of people needed somewhere to go and they needed to be brought back together as a family to heal. And I had all of these cinematic ideas, and we have High Tension Wrestling who wants to help us host an event, and it all just came together. And the results so far, I've been thrilled with, and everyone on our team has, and I just can't wait to keep going forward with it.
Now, is this a project that is every Thursday night on IWTV?
No, so Leapfrog right now, we've done 2 films, and like they're half events, half films. The first one came out in September, early September, and it was think about all of the nostalgic campground movies that we've seen from the 80s and 90s, and just that sense of fun that comes with it. We combined that with pro wrestling for the first one, and that's what Camp Leapfrog is. It's a pro wrestling themed campground, and it's all very tongue in cheek and about having fun with it. And then for the second one, we released that last week on the 29th, and it was our Halloween special, Things That Go Bump in the Ring. And right now we're gearing up for our first live stream event and then a Christmas special following that. And we hope to have a model where we're running one event per month going forward.
Now, you mentioned the 80s and the 90s camp movies. Camp Leapfrog, which movie is it most similar to in your mind? Is it a Meatballs? Is it a Porky's?
It's funny because so I haven't seen either of those movies, I hate to admit, but the writing team for the first one, it was myself, Sam Laterna, Ethan Wild, and Brad Rush, because those 3 were the ones that the narrative throughout the entire film was based around. So I wanted to bring them in to kind of figure out, you guys know you best. How can we put this together? What works for you and your characters? And all of these movies, whether it was Meatballs, whether it was Heavyweights, whether it was Wet Hot American Summer, all of it kind of came together. I mean, I know for me personally, and this will sound wacky, I was doing a watch through of As Told by Ginger, which was a cartoon on Nickelodeon in the late 90s and early 2000s. And there was a special, like a 2 or 3 part episode in the first season called Summer of Caprice. And that's where it started with me. Just that feeling of nostalgia it evoked. And I was like, wow, we could take the same thing and make people feel that through pro wrestling. Let's try it.
It seems to be going really well. I saw you guys were trending, or at least on our Twitter feed Thursday night, everyone was talking about Camp Leapfrog, which is huge. And we mentioned briefly your tenure with Impact Wrestling, but you moved on and you're doing a lot of stuff with GCW. And they have really shined during this pandemic and just getting out there and doing live shows. How much does that mean to you to kind of, there's so many, like you mentioned before, people who aren't working, they're not getting out, they're kind of stuck in a rut, but you're getting out there and you're getting to get in the ring and do what you love to do. How much does that mean to you?
And I'm really fortunate to have that, whether it's GCW, whether it's ICW, No Holds Barred. I've been put in a position that over the last few months, New Jersey's become a hotbed of wrestling because of how the rules and regulations are with running events now that we're in like a COVID world. And the fact that it's right in my, my home state. Most of the shows are 15, 20 minutes from me, sometimes at most an hour. And they're all places that I've been involved with for years and years, like GCW, like ICW, No Holds Barred. I'm thankful that I have an outlet where I can, go out and do what I love to do, where I can go see my friends, because there's a lot of people who don't have that even still. Like one of my best friends, Royce Isaacs, he was former NWA World Tag Champ. He's out in California right now, and I don't know that they just like haven't opened wrestling in his neck of the woods yet. If he's worked since the pandemic, it hasn't been a lot, which is a shame because, great worker in the prime of his career. And that goes for a lot of people. So fortunate would be the best word I would describe that with.
I'm sorry, I thought one of you guys were going to ask a question. This is the beauty of doing a show over Zoom. We're so used to being in the studio together.
Yeah.
We still haven't adjusted to it. Kris, will you be at Survival, the Nick Gage Invitational this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll be on ICW Friday, GCW Saturday, and Sunday as well.
Okay, so refereeing a death match, what is the most important thing besides staying the fuck out of the way? Because I mean, look, we know Louis. I know Louis. I don't want to be
Yeah.
anywhere near Louis when he's got a fucking dildo on a screw gun or whatever other weird shit, fucking cut up Coke cans on a board. I don't know what kind of crazy shit he's doing. As a referee, what's the most important thing? I'm gonna guess is stay out of the way.
Staying out of the way is just a good thing for all referees in all matches until you need to be in the way. But for a death match, particularly, it's about keeping cool under pressure, because death matches are unique in that, by design, someone's going to be hurt. And, the same could be said for all pro wrestling, but that's acute for death matches, and the tolerance for how hurt someone can be in a death match versus a regular match, where you would stop it or take it home early or whatever, it's a lot higher. So you need to have the experience of knowing what's an acceptable amount of damage, and when it's gone too far, because a lot of times wrestlers aren't going to know. They're so amped up with adrenaline or, sometimes even just proud, that they want to keep working through it and finish it. It's like a warrior thing for them, and in deathmatch wrestling, something will always go wrong. Every single match, there's going to be a discrepancy between what's planned and what's reality, and whether that's something, like a stack of weapons or that they put together doesn't work out, or they're supposed to have something at ringside and it wasn't, or someone gets hurt. Like there's so many things that one of these variables will go wrong, and it's about staying calm, figuring out on the fly what to change it up with, because the wrestlers, sometimes you're in there and they just blank and they're not sure where to go, or they're not on the same page. So rather A, you need to help come up with the plan, or B, you're going to need to help facilitate communication of that plan. So just not freaking out when that occurs. Like I've definitely been in situations at deathmatch shows where a referee, someone gets hurt, and like all of a sudden someone comes back and grabs me and like, hey, Kris, go out there. Someone's hurt, and the ref doesn't know what to do, And it's like, you don't have time. You have your whole life to freak out about a given situation, but you need to stay cool those few moments when it counts, when someone else's well-being is on the line.
Will deathmatch wrestling ever be universally accepted, or will there always be people that absolutely disapprove of what it brings to the table in professional wrestling?
There will always be people who universally disapprove of that. And I mean, and that the same thing goes for all pro wrestling. I mean, if you can look back to the early 1900s, back when matches were still like going for hours at a time, and you'll see the old timers of those days say, oh, the wrestling these days, it's too fast paced. It separates from what we did too much. It's no longer wrestling. And to see that being said in the 1910s and 20s is wild. And that's something that's always consistent. You can go look at on YouTube. There's an interview with Buddy Rogers in the 70s saying that pro wrestling is no longer the pro wrestling that he came up with. It's changed too much. And just, a big part about the appeal of deathmatch wrestling for the fans and the talent is that it's a act of anti-societal rebellion. And that's just like if you're a fan of horror movies, or you're a fan of G.G. Allen, or what have you. A big part of why people like that is because things are happening that are not socially acceptable. It's not normal to injure yourself in front of others for entertainment. And anytime you have something where part of the appeal is anti-societal, by definition, a lot of society is not going to accept it. I mean, just a few weeks ago, I go to UMass Amherst for journalism, and I'm doing all online classes. And one of the classes I'm taking is creative nonfiction, and a lot of my writing has to do with pro wrestling because that's just my life. And a lot of my classmates did not take well a few weeks ago when I wrote a story about deathmatch wrestling. And in my head, it was a pretty tame thing. I talked about people making gigs, or what it's like when someone gets hurt on the fly, or like how violent it can get. One person told me that they were traumatized all day and they couldn't sleep from it. Another one told me that I was perverse and that my hobbies contribute to the de-evolution of society away from world peace.
Did that story include Low Life Louie? because then it would be perverse.
No, it did not. The story was about my first time doing a major death match, which was even, it was tame for deathmatch standards, but at the time it was really difficult to get through. Drake Younger versus Sammy Callahan at
man.
CZW Cinco de Mayo back in 2011 or 12. I think it was 12. My first experience going into that and being very squeamish with the blood. And then I contrasted that with a more recent experience at ICW No Holds Barred, where I had 2 match stoppages in a single day, which extraordinarily rare. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times I've had to do legitimate match stoppages over 13 years, let alone having 2 in one day. And just I contrasted how I was panicking the first time around, years ago, and now it's just kind of all business for me. So yeah, a lot of people did not take well to that, and I think that's always going to be the case for deathmatch wrestling. It's more right now. Deathmatch wrestling is probably more in than it's ever been in its history, and I would be surprised if it got more mainstream than that, but I'd also be lying if I said that I wasn't surprised so many times over the last few years, because pro wrestling as an industry is so radically different from when I first joined in 2007. So many things are happening that I would have thought could have never been the case.
Right. So the ref stoppage, when you is that your discretion, or is that does one of the talents say like, oh, I can't go, you got to stop?
It's always it's kind of a group consensus, whereas it depends on the situation. Like the first time I ever had to stop a match, it was Lucky 13 versus Scotty Vortex at a Tournament of Death, and Lucky was powerbombed into a ladder with light tubes on it, and I hate light tubes because they're unpredictable. You never know if it's just going to create a little cut or if it's going to be something awful. And Lucky got powerbombed into them, rolled in the ring. I was checking him. You always have to give a visual scan to make sure everyone's good, because they're not always going to be able to point out to you a cut if they're not aware of it. And all of a sudden I see like there's a giant hole in his lower back, which I think Lucky's coming on tonight, so I'm sure he can talk to you about it. I was freaking out because it was like one of my first death matches. Lucky was very calm and blasé about it. He was like, yeah, I'll finish the match, or yeah, I'll stop it, like whatever you guys prefer. And Scotty was also on the same side of, now we can stop it, like we don't need to do this, I care about my friend. And one of the doctors came out. I initially stopped it per the doctor's call. Then one of the promoters came out and was like, hey, can you guys just wrap things up in the next few minutes so we can give them an ending? And they were cool with it, and they were able to do it. Contrast that to now, the first one was Alex Clone versus Alex Ocean at ICW, at least this most recent one. And I've known Alex since I was a teenager, and Alex Clone, at least I've known since I was a teenager. And took a big bump, and I'm doing the scan, and all of a sudden I just see a big old slice right under his armpit, and it didn't look like anything that was going to kill him necessarily, but it was just bigger and deeper than I had any comfort with continuing on. So I said, hey, buddy, it's real bad. We're going to stop this, okay? And he's like, yep, that's fine. And I don't know if Alex knew how bad it was or if he just trusted my judgment over the years, but that's kind of how it went. For the second one that day, it was just by free coincidence, Alex Ocean versus Eddie Only. And Alex kicked the light bulb, I believe, a light tube at Eddie, and it went into the small of his elbow. And I see Eddie grab it, and blood's just squirting through his fingertips. And I'm like, hey, buddy, we're going to need to stop the match now. And Eddie's like, okay. And he just laid down, and I counted to 3 real quick. And I was like, okay, we need to get you to the back. And Eddie was very calm. He was like, hey, New Jack's about to come out. I need to do this angle. And I was like, dude, you're going to bleed out and die if you don't go out right now. So he just was like, okay, you're right. And he turned out, went right to the back. No issue. So yeah, that's kind of how it's been lately. I think that at this point in my career, that would probably be the norm for how it would go. That I think I've been around enough that I would hope people would trust my judgment enough. It's a stoppage isn't something I do often or I enjoy doing. It's only if I really feel like it's needed for the health and well-being of the performer.
It sounds good. I mean, that they trust your judgment and they're okay with everything. You ever butt heads with somebody that really didn't want to stop, that they wanted to keep going? You ever have any kind of conflict like that in a match?
All the time, yeah. I mean, not all the time, but like it happens. And when I say all the time, I was more thinking of like sometimes you'll get there's a lot of frustrations that it's a live product. You're surrounding, there's fans there are people watching on stream. This isn't a movie set where you can just stop it and take a few and regroup yourself. You need to keep going.
Yeah.
And so that's a ton of pressure on all of us. And whether it's giving time cues like, hey, this is going too long, we really need to end this, guys, or whatever, those frustrations will be exposed in the course of communication. And I don't get personally offended by it because I know that they're just, when you're in a high pressure situation, sometimes you snap, sometimes you yell, sometimes you are mad about the situation, but not necessarily at me. But since I'm the bearer of bad news with it, the only thing you can do is like express that. At a recent No Holds Barred event, I don't know that it might have been the same one that I had those other two stoppages, or it was the one prior. I don't remember which, but it was Akira versus, I believe, Matt Tremont. And Akira he dove off the top out to the ring on Tremont, and a sliver of light tube hit him right in the solar plexus, which is the area like right in the center of your breastbone, right above the abdominals. And it just went right under the skin, and it looked really deep, and it was bleeding really bad. And I was like, hey, bud, we got to get home. And like, Akira was so in the zone, so pumped, so like this was the biggest death match of his career versus Tremont, and he did not want to do it. And he wasn't rude, or he was just very like, no, I'm going to push through this. No, I got it. And like after, when we got to the back, he apologized and he sent me a DM apologizing. And it's like, dude, no, there's no issue. Like it's kind of like The Office, and they're Michael and I'm Toby. It's my job to be the one who has to be the bearer of bad news sometimes. And of course, not always going to react well to it, but it's not my job when I'm in the ring. As much as I'm a fun-loving, carefree person, and as much as I love having fun in there with friends and just goofing around, it's not my job, especially during a death match, to be their friend. It's my job to facilitate safety as best as possible. So yeah, he was frustrated at the moment and didn't want to do it. And I probably would have done the exact same thing if I was a deathmatch wrestler. So yeah, it happens, but water under the bridge, not a big deal.
And getting back to the Camp Leapfrog project, it seems like obviously with what you just brought up to us with your writing in college, it seems like that the creative bug has kind of always been in you. You started, I mean, you're one of the top referees in the game, but it seems like you obviously want more than that. Is that something that you feel like a lot of people want? They want to get their foot in the door, they want to have a role and then do something more with it. Is that something that you always had in your back pocket, or were you super happy with being a referee in these types of matches?
So I've always wanted more, and which isn't to say that anything less of refereeing. It's just that storytelling is my passion in life, and I really respect all forms of storytelling. It doesn't matter whether it's in wrestling or in a book or a movie or in a song or even a painting. And I want to be a storyteller, and that's a big part of why I write for Ripley's, why I put together podcasts, why I do these things. I love telling stories, and refereeing allows me to tell stories.
Right.
But I've always had more that I wanted to contribute, because I felt like I could tell stories within the confines. I want to tell stories within the confines of wrestling, in ways that people don't normally do or haven't done before, if that makes sense. Yeah. And when I say that, I really have a variety of inspirations, even just for reffing. I mean, I tell people all the time, the best way to learn about wrestling isn't just by watching wrestling. Like for me, I've learned just as much about refereeing from watching other referees as I have from watching Puddle's Pity Party, who's a singer, and his body language and his means of expression are incredible. And even if you were have it on mute, you would have an idea of who his character is and what he's about. And body language and facial expressions have been something I've always been pretty adept with. It seems like that's always had a positive response from fans. So I guess it works. I'm trying, at least. I know not everyone's as big a fan of it as others, but yeah.
Well, it seems like you're doing a great job. If you're out there in the Twitterverse, give Kris a follow at Ref Kris Levin. And of course, grab a t-shirt, prowrestlingtees.com. Did I say it wrong? I did. Fucking
Kris,
They prepped me before we do, motherfucker.
I tried, Chris. I really tried.
We literally argued about this before.
No worries at all. Literally everyone gets it wrong.
Kris
It's
Levin.
Levin.
Oh,
At Ref Kris Levin on Twitter. ProWrestlingTees.com/Kris Levin. The Kid Ref thing. I see you've taken the ball and run with it. You have a couple T-shirts up on your store. Is it just something like you're gifted the nickname and you deal with it? Or are you like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not a kid. Like, I get it, but leave me alone. Can I be like number one ref? Why do I have to be Kid Ref?
So I didn't come up with the Kid Ref name. People alternate between Kid Ref and Baby Ref. My entire life, I've always had to deal with the fact that I have a baby face. I'm not a big guy. I'm 145 pounds on my best day, and I look very young. That runs in the family. My mom, people have always thought she's way younger than she is. And initially that held me back a lot in wrestling because, as a referee, you need to look like you're authoritative, that you can handle yourself. And, I started when I was 15. So just as a 15-year-old, of course I don't look like that, especially when I'm a 15-year-old who looks even younger than he is. And that was always one of my biggest concerns professionally. Like I did a WWE tryout in 2012, and all of the people who were more experienced in wrestling, who came from that territory era, they were all about hiring me because I'm a small guy and I can make everyone else look bigger. Like the Steve Kerns, like people like that, the Gerald Briscoes, they all seemed in favor of it. Whereas a lot of the younger guys were like, nah, we need a referee like MMA style who like is thicker set and can handle themselves. And neither way is wrong. It's just different philosophies of how you want to approach it. But I always had it in my head like, cool, there's going to be people who were hired prior to me, not necessarily because of a skill set or anything like that, but solely because of the fact that they look the role. Which, I mean, it's not something that's. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. It just is a thing that I recognized. And when I got to Impact, a lot of fans were chanting that, and I became anxious. Like, cool, is Impact going to pick up on this and say I'm too distracting in the ring? But thankfully, I was able to kind of turn it around, and I took what I felt was my biggest weakness and turned it into my biggest strength by, it kind of turned into a meme. The people on social media and people like watching on Twitch, it started there, and it went into the office, and people backstage started calling me it, and they were like, hey, like, don't be afraid to lean into it a little. And I don't dislike it or like it. Like if I'm as a referee, officials don't always have an opportunity to directly contribute to the entertainment value of the show. We facilitate it, but we don't necessarily contribute to it directly. And if people poking fun at me adds to their entertainment, I'm honored. I love that I can contribute in that way. And as long as people are having fun, that's all that matters. And I'd be more likely to lean into that at some places that kind of let their hair down, like a Leapfrog or something like that. Whereas like at an MLW, when I go there, it's all business. And I'm not necessarily, kid ref having fun with it. It depends on the tone,
Next time you're at MLW, just let King Mo know I'm coming for him.
Will do.
Matt's coming from Chris. Before we let you go, I just got to ask, Tales from the Mat, your brand new podcast. Give us a little background. I know it's available on iTunes. I know it's on Spotify. I know you have a fucking stellar lineup. Dr. Tom, Gerald Briscoe, LaFisto, all part of this debut episode. It's about 2 hours long. Maimed, the Shooter, and the Ripper. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So, I was talking before, like I grew up in Atlantic City, right outside of Atlantic City, and I always went to the Ripley's Auditorium. And and that really influenced my interests in life. I'm big into anthropology. I'm big into history, and I like writing about that weird corner of the world, especially when it relates to professional wrestling. And like I sneak in as many wrestling related articles in Ripley's as possible. But Yeah, I started going into writing articles like that, and I was thinking, they all got like a very respectable matter of traction online, just like these syndicated articles that I've done. But I was wondering, how can I take this to the next level? And I listen to podcasts all the time. I watch like videos on YouTube, and I was thinking, that's kind of what this is. They just wrote an essay and then they recorded it and added sound effects, or if it's on YouTube added a video, and it's like, well, why can't I do that? So I did. And that's how the idea for Tales from the Mat as a podcast came along. But actually putting the story together was, I'm not sure if anyone here has read Lutez's book, Hooker.
Yes.
But Hooker, it's an old-timey term in pro wrestling for someone who has legitimate wrestling chops and they can sink their hooks into you and hurt you if they want. And one of the stories in there was of Lutez's mentor, George Tragos, who was an Olympian in the 20s and just a bad dude, And he allegedly, according to this urban legend, was at a show in the 30s, and a young amateur wrestler who had just turned pro came up to him with an attitude, and they wanted George Tragos to lose to the fella, and Tragos didn't want to, and they're like, cool, we'll figure it out in the ring, not realizing who Tragos was exactly and what he was capable of. And as the story goes, Tragos put him in a double wrist lock and tore out his shoulder. And being that these are the days before antibiotics were even invented, the kid got gangrene and had to lose the arm. And that's a story that Fez told many times over the years. And I felt it was perfectly emblematic of the horror stories that we've all heard about entering the business back in the day, whether it's that or whether it's the Andersons breaking arms and legs, or Hiro Matsuda breaking Hogan's leg. And I thought, I wonder how much of that story is true and how much of it like is an old wives' tale, just to scare the young guys or whatever, or to build up the myth of Tragos. And I decided I wanted to authenticate it. So I reached out to a buddy of mine, Jimmy Wheeler, who runs the Professional Wrestling Historical Society, and I was like, hey, do you think we could figure this out? And most people, including Jimmy initially, they thought it was a loss of time. But he started going through the newspaper archives of the teens, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, and we were able to piece together, shockingly to everyone, including myself, what actually did happen. We were able to find out who the dude was, the circumstances around the match, and what we believe actually happened. And during the course of this lockdown project that we were putting together, I realized that this would be a really wonderful lens to examine gatekeeping as a whole in professional wrestling. And I decided I wanted to reach out to 3 people who have been on both ends of that gatekeeping stick, like have prevented people from coming in, maybe at some points in their career, and also have faced that, and to see what their experiences were. So I reached out to Gerald Briscoe, who came in the 60s and 70s, Dr. Tom, who came in the 70s and 80s, and Lufisto, who came in the 90s and early 2000s, just to see all of their experiences. And, a lot of it was eye-opening. A lot of it was shocking. Like Gerald Briscoe, one of the biggest surprises I found was him telling me that, yeah, he did stretch people, which, like, of course he did. He's Gerald Briscoe, but he regrets it. He wishes he hadn't done it, and he realizes he was wrong to do that. And to find a old-timey wrestler, not only to acknowledge what they did, but to have growth from that and say, that was dumb of me, I should have never done that. You don't hear that often. You hear people, like we were talking before, entrenched in their views, and they're mad that the business has changed. Whereas a guy like Jerry, he's right at the forefront of it, and he's changed right along with it. And I think that's wonderful. Shocking, but wonderful.
And it's definitely something worth checking out. If you want to go over to talesfromthemat.com, or like I said, throw in Tales from the Mat on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and this will pop up. I'm super interested in checking this out. Just the names that you just dropped there alone are definitely worth listening to, and the story itself is phenomenal. Kris, it has been an absolute pleasure. We would love to have you come back on anytime you want to come back on. Just reach out to us and let us know anything you want to leave the fans with before we let you go about the rest of your evening.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you having me on. I'll just say that real quick, with Tales from the Mat, I don't know how regularly I'll be doing it because it's dependent on my school schedule and my work schedule and whatnot. But I'd like to continue releasing documentaries, not necessarily all of them 2 hours long, just however long they need to be, of just weird things in wrestling. And I love the ability to bring my friends involved with that. Like, a lot of the narration throughout Tales from the Mat is me, but I have a bunch of guest appearances, whether it's Masha Slamovich, who's able to record something from Japan, or Blake Chadwick, a top commentator, sending in stuff from Florida, or even Anthony Green. It was his last project before he went to WWE, was able to have a cameo in there. And Anthony was actually the one who came up with the whole Camp Leapfrog name. Both of them. He came up with Camp Leapfrog and Camp Leapfrog, things that go bump in the ring. So I'll just say, if the historical side of wrestling interests you at all, check out Tales from the Mat. And if you're into campy, tongue-in-cheek fun, check out Camp Leapfrog. That's available on IWTV. And if you don't have an IWTV subscription, you can register for free for a 5-day trial with code LEAPFROG. And I don't know anyone who got an IWTV subscription and didn't absolutely love it. It's the WWE network for the indies. And otherwise, I guess you can find me on social media at Ref Kris Levin, and that's Chris with a K because my parents are difficult. And yeah, reach out. Let me know what you think of these projects. I love talking to people about them.
Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure again. Pleasure.
There you go.
Pleasure.
I'm probably having a stroke every Monday night. It happens about
That's right.
Every week.
every day. I have. I quit. I'm done. It's been a pleasure. Seriously, anytime you want to come back on and shoot the shit or just, call into the Zoom. Now you have the info and you can just jump in and join us as we pontificate on this wonderful world of professional wrestling. It's been a pleasure, Chris. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. I'll definitely be back soon. And make sure you ask Lucky about that match with Scotty Vortex I asked about. That was a scary moment.
Good reminder.
Absolutely, we will, Chris. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
Thanks, guys. Likewise. Take care.
Bye, bud.
Good night, Chris.
I knew I was going to fucking... God damn it.
What? You said it. You said it, right? Pleasure, whatever. Same thing.
Oh, man, I fucked up his name.
Oh, that. Yeah, that sucked.
I'm the worst. I don't know
Well,
why.
to be fair, you went what, like Levine? What? And he said Levin, and we thought it was Levin. So you were actually closer than you thought you were. Levin is not that bad. You had the right emphasis on the right syllable.
Yeah.
I don't even know the words that just came out of your mouth, KJG.
It's a quote from Austin Powers, right? No.
Austin or Austin?
It's a quote from somewhere. I don't remember where it is.
Put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's from some movie. But you were closer than you thought you were.
Well, that's reassuring, I guess.
For sure.
All right, boys. What do they always like to say?
Back after this.
We here at the Shining Wizards know that you love to do online shopping, and most of you do it through Amazon. But don't go to Amazon.com. Go to Amazon.shiningwizards.com, and when you shop, any money that you spend goes a little bit to support the show. It's not a whole lot, but every little bit helps. And the more you buy, the more we get supported, and the more everybody can be happy. And we can continue to bring you the best in professional wrestling podcasting.
All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in the rain.
In a world where Hollywood tries to tell you how to live while doing the exact opposite, where fresh ideas are tossed away for a cash grab reboot, where the media has become nothing but propaganda and freedom is traded for what they tell you is security and safety, there is Inconclusive Breakdown. Your weekly look at current events and entertainment with no political correct BS. Just news and uncensored opinions, everywhere you get podcasts. A proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Your recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting from the current to the way back. Join the impact player Phil Rea and the Portuguese man of war Choppy for the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Live every week on rantemradio.com. Get all our episodes over at iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Audio Boom, Google Play, ShiningWizardsNetwork.com, and TurnbuckleThrowbacks.com.
Horns up! This is Rock from Radioactive Metal. Join Snowy, Kareem, Aaron, and myself right here on the Shining Wizards Network every Friday for your weekly metal fix. We talk to all your favorite artists, cover all the latest metal news, cover all the latest releases, and feature brand new unsigned bands. So sit back, grab a beer, download the latest episode, and always remember, it's not metal unless it's radioactive metal.
Hey, this is Mike from the Midnight Jury. When you are done with this show, join my co-host Cal and I every week as we travel back to the last old school generation of the 80s and 90s to review the best and worst in pop culture, horror, and music on WLWstudios.com or the Midnight Jury feeds on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Player FM. Go back in time when it was all about VHS, arcades, and hanging out at the mall. And remember that every second Saturday of the month, we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on rantemradio.com, which includes taking your calls. Once again, that's the Midnight Jury, where the 80s and 90s return from the dead on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Player FM, and our home, WLWstudios.com. We'll see you there.
All right, we are back. It is time to thank those that support the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast.
Sorry, I was
If
feeling
you
that.
are enjoying the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast and you're a listener, subscriber, please check out our Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/Wizards Podcast. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. We're going to take this time to thank those that support the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. And like I said, for as little as $1 a month, we will promote you on this show. $3 a month, you get our monthly watch-alongs. $5 a month, we will plug your website, your Twitter handle, whatever you want us to. $10 a month, you get a quarterly box of wizardry. And anything over $15 a month, you get a bigger, more valuable box of wizardry from us. So at this time, we want to thank Kathy Hummer, the queen of the Shining Wizards, Mr. Manny Carazzo, the king of the Shining Wizards, Danny and Anthony Rusinello, the AOP of the SWP, Ryan Arthur over at Elementary Brewery. The elementary.com is the website if you're in the North Jersey area. Check them out. They're over in Hackensack. Sean Toe and Sean Calejo, Brett Simonello, Kate Hensler over at On Deck IC. You can listen to Kate the Great every Wednesday night on our Dynamite post show. Matt Garifo, no relationship to the KJG. Matt Mellinger, Miss Christine Friesendorf, Mr. Mark Parloni. Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Kenny Hawsey, the Scotch Drinkmore himself. Jay Kopp, Big Cop of Pump over on the Turnbuckle Throwbacks every Friday night here on The Rant. Thomas Copps, the Mott Spock. Mr. Michael Hammond. David Henry Bauer III, his pal Antonio Hosserman makes experimental music at harvestmanrecords.bandcamp.com. Mr. David Henry, good luck. Hopefully you get that new job, brother. Matthew Birch, TJ Vegas, and of course, the one and only Mr. William Mercier Jr.
Lives are gonna be in William Mercier's hands. You know what I mean?
Kevin, I know what you mean.
Whew. Shocked myself 3 times during that commercial break.
Well, brace yourselves, boys. Winter is coming. Man, do I miss Game of Thrones. What the writers of Game of Thrones didn't want to tell you is that Bran was actually in a wheelchair because he didn't trim his balls with Manscaped. Poor guy thought it was okay to trim his balls with a traditional razor or hair trimmer. And now he's a cripple. Just like Tony Z, because he wants to use his goddamn fucking lawnmower 3.0 in the fucking dark in the shower with his goddamn flashlight on it.
Goddamn.
LED light. That's a great light. Great light. Shine a little light on my balls.
That's it. That's all you got to do. Now, We just don't have the fucking lawnmower guys.
No. There's a lot more than that, my friend.
No.
And I'm excited about this. And I don't know if you heard me talk about it Wednesday night. They got
Well, we heard you try to talk about it Wednesday night.
Man, I fucked that up. But the weed, I'm excited about the weed whacker. The nose and the ear hair trimmer. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting. Sometimes I don't know if my mustache hairs or my nose hairs are part of my mustache.
Oh, same, dude, same. And listen, we're not getting any younger, so it's only gonna get worse. But we're still young enough where we can take care of this stuff, and no better way to take care of it than with the weed whacker.
Exactly, and this has a proprietary skin-safe technology to help prevent nicks, snags, and bugs.
Sure it does.
What are you laughing at?
The proprietary.
Yeah.
Proprietary.
Oh, but incredible stuff.
Yeah, they also have.
Kev,
I don't know if you guys know about this. The foot duster, foot deodorant. You got them stinky ass feet. You're putting on them fucking super wool socks, and you're going running around all day like a jackaloon.
Yeah.
Your feet are gonna smell like shit.
I've had these Timberlands on all day. It's brutal.
You know why my feet smell like shit? Because I shit on my feet.
Well, that sounds like a person. That's stop going to the bathroom in the dark, buddy. I don't
that's
know
a me. See,
well,
now
you know what?
Manscaped needs to make
the
a
foot
toilet
duster
light.
could probably help with that.
They need a toilet light 3.0. I could shit in the dark.
For the dirtiest feet, my man. And it doesn't get much dirtier than shit feet.
The dirtiest feet in the game. Pew!
Matt, do you want to smell good everywhere?
I do, Kevin. I need all the help I can get. Let's be honest.
He sure does.
Good, because the refined cologne by Manscaped is a clean, fresh scent designed for the refined gentleman, none of which we are. But it works for us too.
Hey, look, if I just smell nice, maybe people will think I'm a gentleman until I open my mouth, and then all bets are off.
Hey,
That's
boys.
right. And it's tough to lug this stuff around. Well, at least it used to be, but not so much anymore because Matt, Tony, T-Donk, we got the Shed travel bag, baby.
Fuck yeah. And you want to talk about traveling? You can get Manscaped in the UK. You can get Manscaped in Canada. And I think you can get Manscaped down under. Not just down under. I mean Australia, too. Imagine getting down under. That's like double down under. That's fucking insane.
And not to mention the anti-chafing boxer briefs to hold the entire package together. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code WIZARDS at manscaped.com. Guys, follow us because we are a Manscaped pod. We are a hashtag Manscaped pod. And of course, during the winter, you may be spending more time inside with your balls. Might as well make them beautiful. Right, Matt?
Absolutely. Manscaped.com. Code word WIZARDS at checkout. 20% off and free shipping.
Balls?
And remember,
take
care of your balls because they're in your court.
He's going to get that over sooner or later.
Got to get that over.
Sooner or later, Gator. Tony.
Matt.
Just because I love this time of the year. It's crisp. Halloween just passed, and Survivor Series is right in front of us. And how much do you love brand supremacy?
It's the fucking greatest thing since Bruno Sammartino.
Now, I'm just going to flat out, I've just got to ask a question.
Oh, did I read the wrong read?
Yes.
No, you're good.
Your balls
You're
will
good.
thank you.
Brand supremacy, baby.
What's the fucking point?
There is none. Oh, wait. All right. Yeah. The point is to make sure that one brand is superior over the other. That's the point.
But they don't do anything with it. There's no, there's nothing like after Survivor Series, we're right to Royal Rumble, right into WrestleMania season, point at the fucking sign bullshit. What's the point? Why should I be excited for Randy Orton against Roman Reigns?
Because Randy Orton, it depends on what you're a fan of. If you're a fan of SmackDown, you like the you have to support Roman Reigns. If you're a fan of Raw, you got to support Randy Orton, right?
What if I just like good wrestling? Why does it have to be champion versus champion? Why can't it be a story where I'm invested in? So we have the Roman Reigns stuff on SmackDown where Jey Uso has finally seen the light and they cripple fucking Daniel Bryan Friday night, right? So how are we going now? The tribal warrior, whatever the fuck he is, how is Drew McIntyre? How is Randy Orton gonna be involved? Is it just because they're champions? They're like,
yeah,
you
well,
guys
100% what it is.
Yeah, that's the gimmick.
I don't care then.
I don't care either.
You mentioned a key phrase there. If you're a fan of good wrestling, how could you not be a fan of Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns?
Well, here's the problem, Kevin. You're pretty much putting your two best athletes, your benchmark of each show against each other. And number one, it doesn't fit storylines. And then number two, like you just made Randy Orton the WWE champion again. Now you're going to fucking potentially have him lose to Roman Reigns? Like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And we're not talking
doesn't
like...
make sense about it is that they're too... And Tony, to your point, it throws all current storylines out the window, at least for a month.
Yeah.
But is anyone really going to miss a month of storylines being thrown out the window? I mean, they're thrown out the window every week. Isn't that
yes
fair?
and no, but not on that level.
But is anyone really going to miss? Because as soon as it's over, they're going to build to whatever the next show is.
Yeah, but
back on their own brands. Who's really going to miss this month? No one. And if I can get a good Randy Orton Roman Reigns match out of it, I'll take that. I mean, I could care less about the Survivor Series matches at this point. I don't even know what they are, Matt. I haven't watched, other than NXT, I haven't watched an ounce of WWE programming this week. Or last week. So
it's kind of like it's like going to an Italian restaurant and one of the courses they bring you a fucking burrito. And it's a delicious burrito. It's got beans and chorizo and fucking rice and all this other good shit in it. And then they bring you like your fucking chicken parm or your fucking fettuccine alfredo or whatever.
I'm okay with all of that.
No, I am too. But if I'm in the mood for Italian food and they bring me a great burrito, it's like, all right, but why?
Well, you still got your chicken parm, according to your story.
Yeah, but now your burrito just fucking throws a whole monkey wrench in the works. Like, why do you want to eat a burrito while you're jonesing for Italian food?
Right. You're gonna burp that burrito up while you're eating fucking fettuccine, and then you're literally gonna throw up all over the fucking table.
Yeah,
throws off the old palate.
You'll be puking the Royal Rumble all over the place, and you don't want to puke the Royal Rumble. You love the Royal Rumble. It fucking decides who's going to WrestleMania.
I do love the Royal Rumble.
I hate how WWE with everything they do is so paint by numbers. It's this month is Hell in a Cell. This is this. This is TLC. This is when Money in the Bank is like Survivor Series is just going to be brand versus brand for nothing.
Yep. No, Matt, you're not wrong.
So when Bobby Lashley beats Sami Zayn, everything that Sami Zayn disappeared off TV for, then he came back and did the whole feud with AJ and Jeff Hardy and all that other happy horse shit. Now it's like, oh, well, he can't beat Bobby Lashley, so what's the fucking point?
Yep.
No, I mean, you're right.
Like, that's why, and that's why I've said it time and time again on the show. I will not invest 5 hours watching fucking Raw and SmackDown every week. When I watched Hell in a Cell 2 weeks ago, the fucking production pieces before every match that catch you up, like, I don't understand how, and you look at social media and people are fucking miserable. Why are you going to watch something that makes you fucking miserable?
Yeah.
I mean, I won't go as far as to say it makes me miserable, but I don't care if I don't watch it. And I never thought that I'd say that. And I don't know if I'd feel this way if it wasn't, the COVID era, but I have no interest. I didn't watch SmackDown. I didn't watch Raw. I'm getting to Matt level where I don't care if I miss it.
I mean, look, it's just if something's good, you watch a clip on Facebook, on Twitter, on their YouTube. Like you have to sit through a whole fucking show because because that aura of like, oh, I have to watch Raw or SmackDown because I'm gonna miss something is gone, and I think it's been gone for years.
It's been gone. You're right. No, you're 100% right.
The stuff with Roman Reigns is super interesting. The stuff with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss on Raw is interesting. But again, those are things I can wake up tomorrow morning and go to the WWE Facebook page or their Twitter, and I can watch that 1.5 minute segment.
Yeah, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, to be honest with you. I think that makes you, to me, in 2020, that's the equivalent of actually watching Raw, if that makes any sense. Like you go and pick out what you want to watch, just like if you were watching a 3-hour show on Raw, you would switch to another channel when it didn't interest you. Like you'd throw on Monday Night Football if something didn't pique your interest, or you'd watch, Law and Order, or you watch Nitro. If it didn't pique your interest, then you go back for stuff that does. It's kind of the same thing, but just an expedited process where I can just go to the WWE page, or I can go to the YouTube, or I can go to Facebook and just watch what I want to watch. I think that's okay. Doesn't help the ratings, but I think that's okay.
It's just WWE just has too much shit going on. Like Matt said, Roman Reigns has got a great storyline. I'm okay with the battle between Randy Orton and Claymore, to be honest with you, but just trying to put them together for the sake of putting together makes no sense. And there's just still way too much WWE to go around. It's easy to catch up on. It always has been. And there's a lot more options out there. Like, I genuinely enjoy that 90 minutes every week watching UWN. There's stuff that I enjoy watching on AEW. As much as I shit on it, I do find some entertaining stuff. Now, look, I find entertaining stuff in WWE. I love the whole Sasha Bailey storyline. I love how that all arced and came together. I love the Roman Reigns stuff. I fucking love the Hurt Business. I'm all behind those guys. It's a great fucking group. I'm glad that they're fucking destroying Retribution and getting rid of that shit finally. To me, that's a great way, if you're not fucking happy with Retribution, to fucking get them out in storyline purposes.
Is that already gone? Are they already done?
Maybe. But Kev, it's fucking 5 hours a week. Plus you got 205 Live. Plus you got 2 versions of NXT. And then once a month, sometimes twice a month, you've got 4 hours at minimum on a pay-per-view between the hour fucking pre-show that has a match and a round table, and then another 245 or 345 of matches and backstory to everything. It's a lot to digest for one fucking brand. It's just a lot. And the presentation, no matter which one you look at, they're all pretty much the same. That's why AEW does well in my eyes, because it's something a little different. That's why I like UWN. It's something different. That's why I watched MLW. That's why I watched NWA. It's just something a little different to break up the monotony of fucking 7, 8, 9 hours a week, plus the pay-per-views. It's a lot, and it's the same kind of fucking like distribution and the same look, the same everything.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that we're talking about it as too much wrestling. But it really, I mean, there's so much. Who has time to take it all in,
It's I think that we finally, and we probably have for the last 10, 15 years, we finally have officially aged out of WWE. I think we have. I think we really corporate Kevin, yada yada, this and that, watching it because it is wrestling, and I would still rather watch wrestling than other than actual sports. I'd probably rather watch wrestling than just about anything else on TV. But it might be to the fact that it's losing us. To quote Tony, it's turned on us, or we've turned on it.
It's a lot. It's just a lot to digest. And to Matt's point, you watch the pay-per-view, you don't have to worry about catching up with the storylines, Yeah. Like the whole Otis thing is fucking Zack Ryder all over again. But to be honest with you, like when I watched Zack Ryder for his go around, I genuinely felt bad for him because he was fucking built up and it was a great story, and they just shit on him every chance they got. Otis, I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's because I've seen it before, but I think the storyline, the way it was done, was much better. And let's be honest, it's a different situation because he won Money in the Bank, but was Otis really going to cash in the title for the title and win? You know what I'm saying? So like, it makes sense.
I think their idea was good, but it was just way too soon, and he was not. I mean, Otis is great for a role. He has a place, just like a lot of other guys before him had a place, and he might be a world champion one day. I'm not going to say he's not. I think it was just too soon, and it was the right. I think. I mean, I'm not here to criticize or compliment, but I think it was the right move to get that briefcase out of his hands.
And to be honest with you, the way it was done with his friend turning on him, and it's the fucking icing on the cake that it was against The Miz. Oh my God, that's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Matt, our guest will be joining us in a couple of seconds, actually.
Fantastic. There he is.
There he is.
Mr. Lucky, how are you, sir?
I'm sorry, did you just say something?
Yes, Mr. Lucky, how are you?
Oh, there we go. I can hear you. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. For somebody who was in the Danny Havoc hardcore title tournament, you look like you're in pretty good shape. I know you went to war a couple times over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I made it out okay. I've been wrestled twice on Sunday, so I mean, I'm feeling pretty beaten up and worn down now, but I got a week to recover before we do it again. So
yeah, that seems a bit crazy in my opinion. You're going right from Bam Sullivan, Devin Moore, Drew Blood, Scotty Vortex over into Shane at the Nick Gage Invitational. And I think they just announced what type of match it is. And if I can pull it up over here,
Barbed wire and light tube bundles.
Can you please, for those not familiar, what is a barbed wire and...
Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the, fluorescent light tubes, the long, long light tubes that, well, I guess if you ever watched deathmatch wrestling, that they smash each other over each other's heads and stuff. They're going to be in bundles as opposed to just single ones, I'm assuming, around the ring. Barbed wire, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be like some barbed wire doors. I don't know if they're going to wrap the rings in barbed wire. I have no idea what the plan is. I'm not 100% sure what to expect. I just know what implements we're going to be using to inflict pain on each other. So I guess we'll find out.
Do you prefer the single tube or the bundle?
I prefer none. I don't know. They're not really a preference, one or the other. They both suck.
So you've been doing the deathmatch wrestling for a long time. You ever been on the receiving end of the dildo?
No, I haven't. But I was like the first one to like make the dildo popular in deathmatch wrestling. Like if you remember, me and Jackie Numazawa had a dildo deathmatch at Tournament of Death in like 2012, maybe. And I remember Jackie came in, and Jackie actually didn't know what a dildo was until he got there, and then he realized what we were doing. And I remember the look on his face when he saw what was going on. He was like, "I really flew from Japan for this." I was like, "Yep." But no, he had a good time with it. And then a couple of years later, that's when like I think Connor and Dan started using it first, and then like Louie's been using it a lot. But I was I had like the dildo ladder, which was a ladder just with like dildos just attached all to it, like flopping around the sides and stuff. It was there's a good picture of it somewhere, like on my Instagram or something.
Now, do you go to the store and buy all the dildos, or do you send somebody? Do you send like the green kid, like, hey, go get like 50 dildos?
Well, that was fans bring the dildos. So the fans brought them all. And I showed up, and there's a kiddie pool just filled with dildos, and some of them weren't in the package. And I'm like, we're not using those. Like, just throw those ones away.
Look, I was a restaurant manager, and a woman once left a dildo in a shoebox out in the parking lot, and she called and came back for it.
Okay.
People are into that shit. I don't know, man. Did you ever think in your life when you started training to be a professional wrestler that you'd be talking about dildo death matches?
Well, no, because I started at Chikara, so the dildo match wasn't really on Chikara's radar. I don't know why. It seems to just sell tickets,
I mean, fuck. You
would think like with the ants and like with the ice creams, you would think like they'd have like Los Dildos and they'd have them like unicorn fucking heads or something. I mean that would work.
That'd be more of like a hood slam thing, I think.
All right, well then fair enough.
Yeah.
So you got to take part in the Danny Havoc Hardcore Title Tournament this week, and it was also the farewell to Matt Tremont. What does Matt Tremont mean to you and to the world of professional wrestling, especially because we're all, the three of us are from Jersey, and we know we've known Matt for quite a few years now, and just how important he is to the wrestling scene in this area. What does it mean to his peers?
I remember when Matt first came in, and he was, it was, I think 2010, I'm guessing, because I remember they went down to Alabama, somewhere down south, for a deathmatch tournament, and Billy Graham was with them because I was in Cult Fiction at the time. And I remember when Billy came back, the first thing he said is, "Dude, you got to see this kid, Matt Tremont. He's fucking nuts." And then there was literally like 2 or 3 months later, CZW brought him in, and I met him for the first time. And we wrestled a few. We haven't really wrestled too much. We probably only had a couple matches, but I don't know. He's just so like easygoing and easy to get along with that, and I'm kind of like the same way. that we're we kind of got along well with each other, and became friends outside of wrestling. And I know when Grant's wife passed, and I showed up at Grant's wife's house that next day, it was me, Grant, Devin Moore, and Matt. So we all kind of have like a tight bond with each other. And to me, like I don't really see Matt as like a wrestling peer. I see him like as a friend. So I'm still going to see him around and everything. He's still running H2O. He's still promoting shows, and so I'm not losing him in my life, but he's put his body through a lot, though. He deserves a little break, man.
I gotta ask.
Let's say no one ever stays retired in wrestling. Let's see how long this lasts.
We were
I was
just
gonna say
like,
use the word break instead of retirement.
Yeah, Louis retired like 13 times on our show alone. So I mean, we had to ask.
Yeah, I think I've retired twice too now. So we'll see how long it lasts.
What is it what brings you back when you decide to take a break? Is it you just miss the boys, you miss being in front of the crowd? I mean, now it's a little different. Obviously 2020 has been a fucking shit show, but what is it the pull? Is it just a love for pro wrestling that brings you back?
Yeah, I think that's it. You just start to miss it. You miss your friends. I mean, it's funny because wrestling, you have this like bond with people. Like this weekend, I saw Marcus, who I only see 2-3 times a year, but it's like whenever I see him, it's like I see him every week, and we're like best friends and hang out, and you got a lot of bonds like that with guys in wrestling that you only see every so often, but it's like somebody that you spend every weekend with. So there is like that brotherhood, but I don't know, there's just something about being out there in front of the crowd. You miss it, and then also seeing your friends succeed, like getting to see like Drew on Raw and Orange Cassidy now on AEW and stuff. Just seeing that, you're kind of like, it draws you back because you're like, oh man, look at these guys getting opportunities, and so that's the best answer I can give you.
What goes through? No, it's fine. But like, what goes through somebody's mind when they decide to enter this I guess genre of professional wrestling? Is it something that's innate? Is it something that they just say, hey, this is an opportunity, I'll do it? Or is it something that they just enjoyed their entire life, maybe watching earlier product, maybe watching and tape trading from Japan and stuff like that? What gets somebody into this genre of professional wrestling?
So I was always when I was doing CZW in like 2006, when like me and Orange Cassidy were like a tag team there and stuff. I remember like when Zandig and Zandig was gone by then, but we used to go to the shows in 2002 and 2003 and shit before them. But like seeing the death matches and stuff, I literally couldn't watch them. Like I was like appalled and afraid, and I'm like, these guys are fucking nuts. And then I retired the first time, and I wanted to get back into wrestling, and I didn't want to go back though to having to do like those, shindies, those shit indies, and like build myself back up. And I was like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do to get back to where I was, And my phone rang, and it was Mike Burns, who was booking CZW at the time, and he was like, hey, you want to come back to CZW? And I was like, absolutely. And he was like, there's one catch. You're gonna have to do death matches, but you get the main event Cage Death. So I had this opportunity from sitting on my couch to 12 months later being able to main event the biggest show. And at that time, CZW was, was such a huge deal, one of the biggest independent shows of, the year. So I jumped at the opportunity. I'm like, I could probably cut myself a little bit and see how it goes. I mean, and then once you do one, it kind of, the first one I remember being absolutely scared shitless for, and I did it against Danny Havoc, who just absolutely took care of me. He could tell I was nervous and everything. He's like, dude, you'll be fine. I'll take care of you. And then once you do like the first one, they get easier. I mean, they don't hurt less. They just get easier.
But going into, you said after the first one, they get easier, but going into each one individually, do you look at each one differently? And do you still have that weird little fear in the back of your head that something might go wrong?
Yeah, I had that today when I saw what the match was announced for the NGI. That's always like the first thing that like pops into my head. But I don't know. I mean, we're all like professionals. It's still a work. We're still there to, try to keep each other safe and stuff. So you do it the best you can, and
So-
try not to maim the other guy.
So they don't tell you beforehand. You found out about this bundles and barbed wire the same time the rest of us did.
Yep.
That's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, a little bit.
That scares me. I don't like that. I love
That's like-
watching deathmatch wrestling, but
That's like the opposite of getting stuff for Christmas. It's like you're looking forward to everything that you might open up on Christmas, but now you're just like every day you're just like, what the fuck they have for me? What the fuck they have for me? What the fuck they have for me?
Well, I kind of had an idea because I was staying with Alex this weekend at down at Maddie's shows, so we had a room together and we were talking about it. And he was like, "I'm pretty sure you're working Mercer and it's like a barbed wire gimmick." So I had an idea of what was going on, but then when I saw it announced, I'm like, "Oh, I guess it's light tube bundles too." Like,
now he got the best of you at the Acid Cup. So do you think you're gonna get some redemption here?
he's a big motherfucker, dude.
And in a tournament like this, I mean, are you really trying to advance to the next round when it just gets
so going back to what we said, to where you were like, oh, you did 2 more and you only have 5 days to prepare and you have to do this again. And I was like, yeah, and if I win, I have to do it 3 more times. Like, yeah, sometimes winning I don't think is you get all the prestige and everything, but yeah, you got to go through 3 of those in one night. It's fucking rough, dude.
Yeah, and it's a deep field. Arrow Boy, AJ Gray, Louis, Mance, Masada, Mercer, Alex Colon. It's the fucking heavy hitters, man. There's no easy way to win the Nick Gage Invitational.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like I was reading the predictions and everything, are sleeping on Arrow Boy too. Like, he's awesome. Who's he wrestling? Alex?
Saw this today.
Yes, I believe he's got Cologne in the first round, and I think Louis has Mance, I think.
Yeah, him and Alex is going to be awesome.
Yeah, light tubes and ladders.
Yeah, that's going to be Arrow Boy's nuts, and so is Alex, obviously.
See,
I
think I like the Masada AJ Gray. I love AJ Gray. I think he's fantastic. And I don't think people give Masada enough credit for just being a wrestler, let alone a deathmatch wrestler. So that, I think,
I've wrestled both in death matches. I wrestled Masada at a Tournament of Death. Oh, I wrestled Masada the next round after I beat Jackie Numazawa at Tournament of Death. And then I wrestled AJ at the last the GCW show in Atlantic City. Man, Masada fucking hits hard, dude. Like AJ hits hard too, but dude, Masada's like he's a whole nother level, man. He even just looking at that guy, he's scary, dude. So Arrow Boy's my dark horse. Masada's my pick to win it all. Besides me, of course.
Of course. Was Masada still doing the skewers? Was he doing the skewers when you were wrestling him, or was that not yet to happen?
No, yeah, he was doing the skewers. Luckily, I didn't have to take him. Well, I think he likes me for some reason, so he doesn't try to murder me as much as he does everybody else, which is good. But yeah, like I know he didn't like, for whatever reason, he wasn't a big fan of Scotty Vortex. So whenever him and Scotty wrestled, like everybody would just like peek out from the crowd, like, how's this gonna go from behind the curtain? And there was one time where he didn't call it, Scotty said in the match, where Masada flipped the chair upside down, so the legs were pointing up, and he powerbombed Scotty on top of it. That was the only time I've ever seen that. I was like, that could have went horribly wrong. But luckily, like I said, Masada, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Scotty didn't get injured, but just seeing that, I was like, oh my God. Like, who? Yeah, so I don't know if Masada likes AJ, or I don't know if they've ever met, but yeah, if he doesn't like you, it's gonna get pretty fucking wild.
Man.
Damn. So likes you, no murder. Doesn't like you, murder.
Yeah, Necro Butcher used to be the same way.
Yeah, Necro Bertram's
And I'm sure you've seen some of like Necro stuff with people like Necro Joe and
Absolutely.
yeah. Luckily, everybody seems to like me, so I've never really gotten fucking killed too bad in the ring.
We had Chris.
We'll see. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Fight TV this Saturday. The NGI. We had Kris Levin on earlier, and we talked about the first time he had to stop a match, and it was you and Scotty Vortex. He said,
"Was that my match?"
Yes.
Yeah.
So he wanted us to.
I got power bombed on a ladder, and
yes.
Yeah, I got power bombed on a ladder, and it like took a giant scoop out of my back. And I remember when it happened, like, because I couldn't see what happened, but I remember when it happened, the first thing I was like, oh, why is my back burning? Like, that's usually not the feeling you get. Like,
no, did my headphones just die?
No, we got you. Can you hear
they
us?
did. Here, let me take these off. Yeah, so I was like, why do I have burning? And then I rolled in the ring, and I remember Chris like leaning in and going, dude, you're really fucked up. And I was like, what? And he's like, dude, I can't let you wrestle. And he stopped the match, and I didn't know what to do. And Danny Havoc and Devin Moore ran out from the back. And I think DJ or Maven might have been out there, and they were like, do you want to stop the match? And I'm like, no, I don't want to stop the match. It's tournament of death. Fucking tape it up or something. And Danny Havoc, whose opinion I hold, very high, he was like, yeah, he'll be fine. We can take him to the hospital after. Just tape it up. And I was like, see? So then everybody listened to him, of course, and we taped it up and just continued the match. That was probably my second worst injury, though. I did have one in Massachusetts, which was right here. I actually just posted, I think, the video on my Instagram like 2 weeks ago, where it looked like I got shot, or stabbed. Well, I did get stabbed actually, right here, and it took like 38 stitches to close. And it was like a hole, probably like that big, right here in my armpit. And I could still actually feel it, where it's like, it feels different than my other arm. I don't know. It's kind of gross. Check it out if you get a chance. At BigWigNJ on Instagram.
Wow, that's horrifying.
Yeah, you know what? Light tubes fuck me up all the time. So as soon as I saw like when Alex was like, "Oh, it's barbed wire," I'm like, "Oh, sweet, it's barbed wire." And then I saw light tube bundles. Remember how we were like, you have that moment where you're like, "Ah, fuck." I was like, "Oh no, light tubes again."
What? So light tubes, and we talked about death matches with Chris before. So he said they're like the most unpredictable. And then, as you can tell, we're friends with Louis, and I've seen the one where they rip the thing out of it. What's it called? The gaffer? What's it? The gusset plate.
The gusset plate. Yeah.
And they had to fucking pry that out of his head. Casanova Valentine and somebody else had to pop that off of his nasty fucking dome. So we don't like light tubes. What's like something where you're like, no, what the fuck? Like, why are we
carpet strips?
Carpets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Hate carpet strips, which I had to do this weekend. Because you know why? Because they're they hurt way more than they look like they should.
Yeah, of course.
And they're like wrestling, like putting on a performance and everything is very visual and like auditory. They don't make a great sound, and visually you can't tell. Like light tubes, boom, they explode. There's this dust, there's all that. You don't get that with carpet strips. So the amount of pain that you get for the payoff, it's like, fuck those things, man. I hate carpet strips.
Yeah, carpet strips suck. I fucking stick my finger every time I got to move carpet in the house. It sucks. I can't imagine getting hit in the fucking back or in the dome or something with that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. Listen to me.
So
I'm trying to relate to the
strips are
guest
definitely
about
my least
hardcore
favorite.
wrestling, talking about shit I do around the house. Sorry. But I do speak from experience. Yeah, they suck. Ugh.
We're on the line with Lucky 13 at Neo Shooter on the Twitter machine. Now, interesting formation. You are now a very good deathmatch wrestler, and you are teaming with a very good professional wrestler. How did that tag team come about?
Ooh.
Well, we wrestled each other at, what was it, Hustlemania?
Yes. No contest you guys went to, right?
Yeah, because the referee sucked. It was a chick. I had to punch her in the mouth because Dasher's a gentleman and he wouldn't. I had to straighten her out. That might have came across bad. That might have came.
That's a referee. We'll look at it as a referee, not a.
I would have punched him in the tits. I'm just saying.
Jesus, come on now.
You know, and actually, me and Dasher actually live about 5 miles apart from each other, so we actually hang out all the time and train together. And we were like, "Hey, we should make a tag team." So that happened. I don't even know when Matt's next show is, but I think we're gonna start teaming as a team there. Probably like November, December. We got a few other, tricks up our sleeves and guys we kind of might want to bring into our very good wrestling stable, I guess you might want to call it. So it may expand in the future, so you should look out for that. But I know I announced Sunday at Sean Henderson's show that me and Dasher are going to be wrestling Boomer and Molly McCoy at his next show, which I don't know when that is. I probably should have like a list of my dates to be like, hey, here's my show. But I'm terrible at promoting. I have a show this Saturday in Atlantic City.
The Nick Gage Invitational, number 5, available on Fight TV, Game Changer Wrestling. You've been doing a lot of stuff with Game Changer, and it's really shown a great light on you. People might shoehorn you into the deathmatch genre, but man, when you hit those fucking shooting star presses off the top rope to the outside, goddamn, I'm fucking pumped, man. I keep going to your Twitter over here, and every time
you want me to do one this weekend?
Look, you got enough on your plate, bro. You got fucking bundles of light tubes. You got barbed wire. Who knows? Shane Mercer's a big boy. I don't know.
Matt, you just said yes. He just offered to hit a home run for you, like he was like Babe Ruth.
I'm gonna do a tope now. That's it. No.
Oh, so yeah. So he offered, and you were like, no.
Look, he's got a long night ahead of him. Okay, if he's gonna beat Mercer and he's gonna go on to God knows what waits for him in the second round, what kind of crazy weed whacker, alligators in a fucking fish tank, crazy Japanese bullshit is.
I would rather do the alligators in the fish tank than weed whackers.
Because if you're an alligator in a fish tank, odds are it's probably not that big a gator.
Yes, exactly.
When I was 15 and I was buying those fucking deathmatch videos off of RF Video, and I'm like, alligator deathmatch, yeah. I'm like, oh, he's just fucking holding him over a fish tank, and there's like a
the piranha deathmatch.
Big. Who's your? So you get thrown into the deathmatch scene. Do you go back and watch like the Onitas and the Pogos and the Mick Foleys and the Terry Funks, or are you just like, I'm just gonna fucking do whatever?
Yes. Actually, my favorite deathmatch wrestler was Hayabusa. I guess you could consider him a deathmatch wrestler, right? He was doing like exploding cages and shit. And I always admired that he was a wrestler first that did crazy shit. So I kind of try to do the same thing where I still try to wrestling matches, but we just implement all of that stuff into it rather than just go try to do like the dumbest stuff you can. So that's kind of, it just turns out that everything I do is dumb anyway.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true now. Come on. Just don't start a singing career, because I don't know Japanese, but I don't think Hayabusa's singing career was all that great, to be perfectly honest with you.
I was in the Pennsylvania Boys Choir for a little bit.
Now you got to sing. What are we singing? Let's sing a little ditty. Are you bad?
I'm a little hoarse from this weekend. So is Orange Cassidy, though. You should hear him sing.
He don't talk much.
He's got a voice of an angel, though.
He just sticks his fucking hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
What, Tony? You look like you want to say something.
I want to hear Orange Cassidy sing. I want to hear Lucky 13 sing, but I want to hear Orange Cassidy sing because that must be a hoot.
I'm definitely not singing right now. Maybe like if you're lucky, like good. Me and Orange Cassidy will like break out a duet on like Instagram one day or something.
Ooh,
that's a good.
That'd be sweet.
Or if you guys happen to be together, hit us up. We could do it live on our show. That'd be awesome.
I was actually going to stay at his house Saturday night, but by the time the match show got over at like 12:30, I was like, dude, I'm just going to stay at the Wrestlers Hotel down the road. Like, I don't feel like driving back to Philly.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So 2020 has been a rough year for everybody, and I'm sure you as well. What have you taken anything positive out of this, though? I know the wrestling landscape has changed.
Nope.
Sounds about right, man. It's been a fucking shit year.
Yeah, my friends are all dying. Fucking work got closed for 3 months. Like, the country's going to shit. Like, I don't know.
You're on this podcast. It's rough, bro. Shit's rough.
Wow. Hard times, Daddy. Hard times.
Wow, I just lost my train of thought again. Well, at least I didn't pronounce your name wrong like I did to Kris, so we got that going for us.
It's a tough one to fuck up.
If you listen to this podcast, you would not be surprised at the amount of shit I fuck up. So
Yeah, Matt can't speak.
being a part of the Game Changer Wrestling, the Nick Gage, the swell of just, he's like the biggest babyface in wrestling. And you being, CZW for so long and knowing Nick for so long, is this a surprise to you when he comes back and he is just like over like Rover?
I don't know if it was a surprise that he was so over. Because it was like everybody really missed him. You know what I mean? Like when I left, nobody was like, oh, can't wait for Lucky 13 to come back. It was just like, I'm gone. Everybody's like, and then I showed up later and it was like, oh, it's that guy again. Whereas like Nick Gage, people actually knew like when he was getting like out of jail and everything. So there was almost like a countdown to when Nick was like coming back to wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's always just had this like aura about him where he's just such a badass and like just his entrance alone, like, how can you not be a Nick Gage fan? Just like, if you've never been to a wrestling show before and the first match you see is Nick Gage and you just see that entrance, there's no way you're not like, I don't fucking love this guy immediately.
Do you think it has to do with the fact that it's like, you are getting Nick Gage? There's no like, this is a little bit of who Nick, like, that's just who Nick Gage is. He's a fucking ass kicker, no bullshit kind of guy. I think that has a big part to do with it.
Yeah. Well, remember, like I said before about Masada being scary, like Nick Gage, same way. Like they're just dudes. They're very like intimidating, even when you meet them. Yeah. And like you said, he's a no nonsense, there to kick ass. He's
mentioned, yeah. And that was such a weird time to be like, when that whole story happened with him and everything went down with him, that was such like a bizarre time because no one, even though like whatever, he went to jail, this and that, but everyone was like super excited like for him to come back. That doesn't happen with people. So that was like such a weird time to follow wrestling, to be involved in New Jersey and in this area. That just doesn't happen with people. And the fact that he's still rocking and rolling and being the Nick Gage that everyone knew is just ridiculous. Is that a testament to him, or is this just a 1 in a million thing?
I don't know. That's a good question. He's been around forever too. When did he even debut? It was probably almost like 99, 2000, right? Like he's probably been in for like 20 years and he's been a top indie guy for that long. Like it's almost amazing that he's never been given a shot. You know what I mean? Because everywhere he goes, he's over.
Yeah.
Like if he was on if he showed up on AEW TV Wednesday night, like I think like the internet would fucking explode. Like,
yeah, and I mean I'm not going to say to like a lesser degree, but when Eddie Kingston showed up, like the world, there was basically a week-long movement to get him signed there, and then he ended up doing. I'd be hard pressed to discount that if something like that happened to a Nick Gage, that it wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to actually compare him being on AEW to like when Eddie did, because same, and they're two very like similar guys, like cut from like a rough cloth. Is that the right expression? I don't even know. But yeah, rough around
it's
the
a hybrid
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah, and their styles are, you know, in your face and brawling, and they're two guys that you just wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley alone, you know. But when that happened to Eddie, I was so happy for him, and so hopefully, Nick gets that opportunity, because you know, anyone deserves it. Like, that fucking guy's been put through the ringer, and he's in a better place now, I think, than he ever was in his life. So if it's gonna happen, I hope it's soon for him.
Right. There you go.
Well, Mr. Lucky 13, it's been a pleasure. We don't want to take up too much more of your time tonight. At Neo Shooter on the Twitter machine, give him a follow. And Instagram is, I'm sorry,
at Bigwig NJ.
Like the punk band.
Yeah, they're actually probably pretty pissed at me because they're the band Big. Like, I get tagged as them all the time on there. But it's named after the band. I literally stole their name.
That's fantastic. It's fucking brilliant. This weekend, the Nick Gage Invitational, Saturday, November 7th. It's a 1:00 start time. Nice Saturday afternoon.
70 degrees.
Nice.
Yeah, if you can't be at the show, at the Sandlot, at the Showboat in Atlantic City, you go to Fight.tv. You order that shit up. GCW's giving you a whole weekend full of wrestling. You have zero excuses. There's no reason to watch the fucking Jets. They suck. They're fucking Kevin, make a face. They're fucking 0-8. You should hope.
Giants are playing right now.
How are they doing?
They scored a touchdown to go up 7-3 right when we started.
Oh, interesting. They're going to lose anyway. Let's not be.
And it is still 7-3.
Unbelievable, these Giants. But you're not going to want to watch football on Sunday. Your team sucks. If I know any fantasy teams are shit, you want to watch GCW. Are you? You're probably not wrestling Sunday, right?
Not as of right now, but we'll see. Like, as the COVID test rolls in, if someone, you know, has to pull off or something, who knows? I mean, I'm going to be there.
Good point. I forgot it. I almost, for like this little bubble that I'm in Monday nights, I forget about the COVID. So, all right, cool. Well, make sure you go to Fight.tv or Game Changer Wrestling. You order that shit up. Nick Gage Invitational 5 is not going to be a letdown. I promise you that. And hopefully
you'll see a shooting star to the outside.
And Mr. Lucky 13, you know, his new tag team partner, least we not forget, won the ECWA Super 8. So I'm just saying, this could be like a power couple, wrestling power couple. The Nick Gage Invitational winner, champion, and the Super 8 champion.
The power couple is exactly what we want to be known as.
You're welcome.
2020. Let's do it.
Yeah, but thanks, guys.
This is
Lucky,
fun.
thank you. It's been a pleasure. We appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. We'll be rooting for you, and we hope things go well. No carpet.
All right, thanks.
No more carpet strips. We're praying.
No carpet.
Fuck those things.
Fuck those things. Lucky, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, brother.
Thanks,
Have a great
Lucky.
night.
Be well.
All right, see ya.
Lucky 13 at Neo Shooter on the Twitter machine. Gentlemen, I fucking won the raffle.
No fucking way.
Yes, fucking way.
No way.
Wait.
Come on now. I won.
Get out of here.
Nope.
I won.
I fucking won.
I won.
I fucking won.
I won.
Correct. Ding.
So you won a crushed mid on card.
And the loose.
Three loose green card. Son of a bitch.
What a
congratulations.
debt.
That's a good finish for you, buddy.
That's awesome.
My computer continues to break.
Well, we are the Shining Wizards, and Matt's a winner tonight.
I have 8% left. I got to fix this.
All right.
Well, Kris Levin was an excellent guest. Lucky 13 was an excellent guest.
Dildo ladder.
What? Dildo ladder.
Dildo
So you can't
ladders.
beat the dildo ladder.
I think he liked my Los Dildos gimmick for Chikara. It's a shame. I think it was a missed opportunity.
A couple news and notes is before we wrap up. Danhausen has officially signed with Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor's got Danhausen now.
Isn't that what Danhausen does? Like this?
Ring of Honor crowned their first pure champion since 2006. I'm not going to spoil it for anything for anyone because I'm sure people still want to watch it. But Jonathan Gresham versus Tracy Williams, definitely check that out. The MLW restart is less than 3 weeks away, Tony.
November 18th, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Laredo Kid will be part of it. Davey Boy Smith Jr. will be part of it, contrary to popular belief, because he had some issues during the pandemic where he didn't want to be part of MLW anymore.
They fooked me.
And it seems like they're doing a storyline where the MLW roster has struck back against Contra Unit and regained control of MLW headquarters.
Dude, fucking Hammerstone and the Von Erichs, they're putting their differences aside, dude. They're fucking going to take them down. It's crazy. I think there might even be a little more dissension and tension between the remaining members of Dynasty as well. We'll have to see how that plays out.
That's a tag team name if I ever heard one. Dissension and tension.
Hey, instead of
someone's got to trademark that bad boy.
What did Matt call Lucky and the Very Good Pro Wrestler? What did he call him? The Power Couple?
Yeah.
I hope they run with that. That'd be awesome. Anyway,
Matt's confirming with the raffle.
He's
raffle
done.
No, I'm just
he's worse than
sure
you watching fucking the Devils during the show.
No, we're good. I just got to send a message. I will be taking a clean Evil Crush mint on card with the rest of Series 11 loose. The only issue
were there other options?
Evil Crush mint on card, $1 Million Man Series 1 and 9, Macho Man Series 1 with the 1-2-3 kid with the hairline crack, and the choice of either Adam Bomb Borga or a Yoko Loose. A Dusty mint on card, Taker, Yoko, Brett, and Bomb mint on card.
Bomb.
The
bomb.
I would safe to say you picked the right one.
I got to finish my collection, bro. Come on.
That's it.
I'm fucking jazzed up about this. Something we're not jazzed up about. Beyond Wrestling has canceled the shows this weekend in Atlantic City, and for the foreseeable future, they are, I don't want to say closing, but
ceasing operations. They're ceasing operations for the time being.
So that's
XFL Jace.
Drew will figure out a way back.
I hope so. Tony, do you want to do picks? Do you want to do games? Do you want to do anything, or just want to pull this train into the station?
I want to park the train, dude. I'm fucking done. We could start.
I had a nice little list.
Oh, save it for next week. I've been saving my questions for 2 weeks now. It is what it is.
We did questions last week.
No, we didn't. We did top 5 last week. Yeah, we didn't do questions last week. Trust me.
Right. Well, we are the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. Special thanks to Kris Levin and Lucky 13 for joining us tonight. Special thanks to Tony and Kevin for jumping in on another episode.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram @Wizards Podcast. We hope a lot of you watched this on the Facebook and you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with episode 506. Make sure you use the manscaped.com promo code Wizards at checkout. Save yourself 20%. ProWrestlingTees.com/Shining Wizards. Get your t-shirts over at Pro Wrestling Tees. And rate, review, subscribe.
Quick shout out. I got my stuff from the Mikey Whipwreck Etsy collection. Mikey Whipwreck's trying to raise some money for his back, for his surgeries, for all these medical bills he's got. He's got some good shit over there. Matt and I both got some pins. I know Matt was able to snag a signed action figure. I got myself an autographed picture with the TV belt. It's kind of cool. Made out to Tony, his favorite wizard, so that's fucking good shit. So go support those guys and support everybody. They just had their 2nd year anniversary over at Front Row Material, so good on them. I know they're doing the live thing now too, so support those guys and support everybody on the Shining Wizards Network because we got some great shows for you. Lots of great shows for you. And we're going to help Kevin get a new plug for his MacBook. I think Kevin's done.
I'll put the order in as soon as I get off here with you guys.
That's cool.
Hopefully,
we got it all figured out.
It won't take too long.
Matt, anything else? Kev, anything else? Anything else?
I mean, I got a show on Thursday.
Fuck yeah, plug that shit.
Well, I mean, we'll see if I even go, but it's at the Crossroads in Garwood, New Jersey. That's where we had one of our most career-defining moments shows there, live podcast. So yeah, Crossroads is Thursday. It's basically a Dumb Fellas reunion. I don't know if you guys remember that little vehicle.
What's that? What's the Dumb Fellas?
Me, Rich, Joe, Natty, and KP all will be in the house this Thursday at Crossroads. So check it out. Garwood, New Jersey.
In your face.
That was from Garwood.
In your face.
That's it. Gonna bring it back.
Big weekend of pro wrestling. Make sure you watch AEW Full Gear, New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle. We'll maybe throw these picks up on the social medias at a later date and time. We'll be back next week with another humdinger. The road to 9 years, 3 weeks away, people.
Ooh, baby.
Fuck.
3 weeks away. So we got a lot of fun planned, a lot of surprises, as I mentioned earlier.
I got to book a guest.
I already got my surprise guest all lined up, y'all. Hope
I'm
you
working
like
on mine
it.
yet. It's all right.
I gotta go because I'm at 2%. Your Mac will sleep unless plugged into a power outlet.
Awesome. Good night, Gracie.
Why?
you're a dick
Why
and
can't we have our own thing? Why?
Good night, Matt.
Why do you have to steal from them? They don't even support us. The only one that bothers to give us $1 is Jay, not that fucking.
Wait, that's a turnbuckle thing?
Oh yeah, that's a turnbuckle thing. Tony's a turnbuckle homer. He misses him and Phil don't get the
Sausage fingers, right? Fucking sausage
finger.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed checking in on the Facebook, but Tony, you're actually taking right from the show?
I do it to piss Matt off, just like I'm about to do this. Good night, everyone in Facebook land. Thanks for joining us.
Nobody.